Special.
R.I.P. Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
We are listening to the whole of it.
No, the late great Juna Delgado. Before that, you hear Big Youth. Yes. So they are with you next Wednesday night in the month of April. This is the time when people get ready for yam whole heap of bun and cheese. Yes. And this is also the time when Rastafari is intensively going about the remembrance of that Coral Garden atrocity. There's so much things on the table of Rastafari. We are trying to figure out if them believe say we are just stay so all the while. 'Cause years we are telling them certain things and not say certain things, and it come like them a draw them food, but we don't know what them things say. Them we are gonna just sit down so I make them draw them food all the while, and we just go on like say. We are listening to what them a say, and I hope say what them a say, them are going to do better. Anyway, you know them say you push a dog around for so long, one day that dog will turn and bite you. And we pass biting time, you know. We pass biting time, but we are watch still. We are watch. We want to tell you, this is very important. It is with deep sadness that we have received the news of the death of Professor Norman Gervan, a man whose life's work was underlined by unremitting dedication to a vision of an integrated Caribbean. His ideas placed him in the upper echelons of Caribbean intellectuals. His service as main author of towards a single development vision and the role of a single economy, a visionary document to guide the development of the Caribbean community, CARICOM, was a prime example of the commitment that Professor Gervan had to his region. We extend sincere condolences to his wife and family and to the government and people of Jamaica and the loss of a true Caribbean icon. That is the passing of Professor Norman Gervan, very important man in the idea of Caribbean unity, the coming together of the Caribbean countries, is a very important part of it. So, it is all about what is happening now. We hear that Ebola is in Guinea. You know, it's ironical that one of the countries that we're supposed to go, well, I'm supposed to go next month, is Guinea. And now we hear that Guinea have this Ebola virus that is going through. And you know, the borders of Guinea extend to Sierra Leone, which is one of the countries I was supposed to be going to, Senegal, and you know that Gambia is in Senegal, that's why they call it Senegambia. So we are going to see what is going to happen. We're going to talk to Olemata Taal tonight, a sister who is one of the foreign organizers, even though she's a Gambian, but she's very responsible for a lot of the movement of people from this part of the world to Gambia during this part of the year. So we want to talk to she, and we want to play You know, we want to play 2 tape. I don't know time I got permit me, but we feel say it's very important that we play this tape again. You know, we played it about maybe 15 years ago. 15 years ago. It's by John Henry Clark. John Henry Clark is one of our great leaders, African leaders, who has served us very much in his lifetime. And we hope that when we play this tape, it will bring a certain amount of intellectual awakening to make your consciousness be more understanding of who you are supposed to be. We're going to go back to Junior Delgado, a big tune. Big tune. Yeah, then all of them big artists from longer time who go to England, live in England and then pass away in England. Junior Delgado, original rude boy artist. Junior Delgado. We tell you, so we did have a team where them do some investigation and found out that Queen Elizabeth wasn't the legitimate Queen of England. This is no joke business. They have done investigation and is now saying that the people them in Buckingham Palace not supposed to be in there based upon something that happened maybe 100, 200 years ago with some illegitimate child that was placed there. And the real royal family, the people them is living in England. And this is now being documented. I don't hear no big alabaloo about it. Sometimes when I talk things, I feel lonely because sometimes people say, where Muta get them things from? Well, there's a documentary that this man has made showing that the legitimate royal family is not living in the Buckingham Palace or the House of Windsor. But it's a very interesting thing. I want to play some of it still, you know. I have to find it though. I have to set it up and find it. You understand? Before I play the John Henry Clark, yes. I want to touch a piece of it that you can hear it, and then maybe it will stir your appetite for more information about it. But it is very interesting to hear them, which is the British people. It's not no foreigners. I said it, you know. Is big intellectuals who know what them saying. Is saying these things. It's not no conspiracy theory neither. You understand? They're just showing you and tracing the whole idea that, you know, you talk about bastard picnic. We talk about bastard picnic or jacket. Well, it's something similar to that happen over a period of time that give you this present queen and what them call Queen Elizabeth. But it's a serious thing. So we can find it.
Mutabaruka, we are listening to the whole of it. You know here, the end. I can still.
With the funny. Believe you with that words with the funny. Okay, all right. Here we go now.
I've made a startling discovery. There's good evidence that's recently come to light that back in the Middle Ages, one of the kings of England was illegitimate. And if that's so, it means that every king and queen of our country since shouldn't by rights have sat on the throne. But if not them, then who? Well, I've traced the real royal family, the bloodline that's been robbed of its inheritance. And I've discovered the person alive today who should be Britain's reigning monarch. This is how it happened. doing making a fuss about a centuries-old skeleton in the royal family's closet? Well, to me, it's all about the rules of the club. The monarchy rests entirely on blood and inheritance. There's an absolutely rigid system for passing on the throne. Prince Charles is first in line, then Prince William, then Harry, then Andrew, etc. The chain of power and wealth and privilege depends on two rules. One, you have to be of the royal bloodline, and two, you have to be born legitimate. But what happens if the system goes wrong, if the chain gets broken? 500 years ago, that's exactly what happened, and this is the man responsible. Edward IV was king, but his claim to the throne was fatally flawed. I found evidence that he was conceived not by his royal father, but by a humble archer. It was the summer of 1441. England was at war with France. Edward's mother had gone there with her husband. While he was away fighting, she was rumoured to have had a fling with an English archer based in the Rouen garrison. 9 months later, Edward was born. Within 20 years, Edward became Edward IV. But gossip about his parentage persisted in his lifetime and even after his death. There were rumours flashing round the Tudor court that Edward was illegitimate, and William Shakespeare actually articulates those rumours. He says in Richard III, if I can find it, when my mother went with child of that insatiate Edward, noble York, my princely father, then had wars in France, and by true computation of the time, found that the issue was not his begot. That's pretty clear, isn't it? But the gossip was just that. There was no proof. Historians put it down to political mudslinging. But then an English historian called Mike Jones started rooting around in the archives at Rouen Cathedral. And he discovered a document that for the first time provided facts to substantiate the rumours that Edward was a bastard. When you came here, what was it you were researching?
I was looking into the records of the 100 Years' War.
And you found this thing?
This register.
What is it?
It's the record of the cathedral chapter for the summer of 1441.
What's so significant about the summer of 1441?
This is when Edward would have been conceived.
And what was it that you found?
That the Duke of York, his father, is not actually where he should be. He's on campaign in Pontoise. Prayers are being offered for his safety.
What does it say?
It says, a sermon is being preached for the safety of the Duke of York on campaign in Pontoise.
So they're worried that he's away at the very time when he was supposed to be impregnating his wife?
Yes.
But couldn't the child have been premature?
Very, very unlikely. A premature child would have been recorded.
No one had ever understood the significance of this information before you found it?
I couldn't quite believe it myself, that something as scandalous and sensational as this could have really happened.
But this is really definite. This is the original document.
It's the original document, and it shows that at the crucial time, from July through to August, the crucial 5 weeks, his father is not there.
Edward was born in late April 1442. Counting back 40 weeks earlier puts his conception right in the middle of the 5-week absence of his supposed father. Now, conception dates aren't an exact science, but 5 weeks is a big gap. Infant mortality was very high. Sick or premature babies with a claim to the throne were a risk, and chroniclers always recorded them. What's more, this new evidence binds together other clues about Edward's birth, which had previously been glossed over. First, the Rouen Cathedral records also tell us that Edward's christening was a hushed-up affair in a side chapel. In contrast, his younger brother had the whole of Rouen Cathedral opened up in celebration. Second, the lantern-jawed Edward looked nothing like the thin-faced man who was supposed to be his father. And thirdly, neutral sources tell us that his mother herself declared that Edward was a bastard, even making a legal deposition. She knew that the truth was vital to the integrity of the royal line. So why does it matter whether or not Edward IV was legitimate? Well, if I stick this up here, hopefully I can show you. This line at the top here is the great line of British kings through from Alfred the Great to Henry II to Edward III. But after Edward, suddenly the whole thing explodes. It goes whoosh, because it's the War of the Roses, and all the kings start dying off like flies, until in 1485, when Richard III dies, there are no claimants left except this one, Henry VII. And his claim comes through this line, which is an extremely dodgy one, because it's about the fact that John of Gaunt had a mistress Catherine, and they had children. And that line is specifically barred from inheriting the crown. So in order to legitimise himself, Henry VII married this woman, Elizabeth of York, and her claim is based on the fact that she is the daughter of Edward IV. But if Edward IV is illegitimate, then that invalidates the claim of Elizabeth, and consequently of Henry, and of Henry VIII, and of Elizabeth I, and of the Georges, and of Victoria, and everyone all the way down to the House of Windsor. Those few words in an ancient document had potentially seismic results. Edward's illegitimacy removed a vital link from the royal chain. I was about to contest British history as we know it. I wasn't naive. I knew it was impossible to be 100% certain about events that happened 500 years ago. But I wanted to make sure I had the balance of probability on my side. And where better to check 15th century facts than at the academic world's 15th century conference.
Around the time that Luther challenged his colleagues at the University of Wittenberg on the matter of indulgences, another doctor of divinity was exciting to a wholly different effect.
In the much-needed break, I sounded out other opinions about Mike's theory. Do you think that there's a question mark over Edward's legitimacy?
I think there is. It was certainly raised at the time, fairly close to the time.
It's a dynasty that destroys itself. If you start killing your brother and things of this sort, there's something odd going on. It's a very unstable time, I think, under Edward IV.
Well, his research is very thorough and well done. On this particular topic, we're talking about an issue where everybody has said it's impossible to pass, it's nonsense, it's rubbish. And what Michael has done is he's shown it's feasible or plausible.
I also talked to Mike again, who gave me one more plank of evidence, this time from Edward himself. Edward and his followers seem to have been suspiciously eager to tell the world that he was legitimate.
His own circle, once the story gets out, go to the opposite extreme to try and dampen it down. But that's what's so fascinating. So they're bringing out these wonderful eulogies to Edward, but they keep having to emphasize what should be obvious. Conceived in wedlock, of the royal blood. But he's on the throne.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Indeed.
Yeah. As part of their desperate propaganda campaign, Edward's supporters wanted to deflect attention away from Rouen. So they named an alternative time and place for his conception. A respectable family residence at Hatfield Chase in Yorkshire, before Cecily Neville even left for France.
When we actually look at the itinerary of Cecily and Richard, we find they've travelled south by the beginning of June 1441. So this conception would have had to have taken place in May 1441.
Why is that a problem?
Edward's birth date is the 28th of April 1442.
That 11 months concern.
That is some pregnancy.
11-month pregnancy, yes.
So I've heard of trying to strengthen one's case, but in the process they've shot themselves in the foot.
In other words, when Edward's supporters tried to counter the gossip about his illegitimacy, they came up with a story that would have made him 8 weeks overdue, which modern science knows to be impossible. I was ready to start the quest to find who should really be sitting on the throne of Britain today.
Yes, that was a piece of this documentary here, and very intriguing. And I want to tell you something, you know. My mother not easy, you know. But if I was to follow my mother, I'd go to England, you know. My mother sit down and read everything about England, you know. She make me go watch. Well, she don't make me go watch, but she usually carry me go every movie. We have something in there. We are dealing with Henry VIII, Beckett, Thomas Beckett, all of them people there. And me I tell you, say, from me a little boy, I mean, hear my mother talk about Queen Elizabeth, you know, she said, I legitimate picnic. My mother, from me a teenager, anytime me hear she talk about Queen Elizabeth, she say, Queen Elizabeth, I want legitimate picnic. And that is really, really something considering, say, I mean, it's something where it's a hush-hush. But most people who are supposed to know, so that documentary there have a valid, it's valid. Because the documentary I just make, my mother didn't know that. My mother tell me that and said in front of her friend them that she could have gone to university to go teach English literature or English history. The way well, not even English, but European, but especially England. I'm here talk about like 50 years ago. Me talk about like 40 years ago. Me talk about like 30 years ago. Me talk about when me live with my mother and I go primary school. Till me a teenager. And anytime she came go to one movie, she explain the movie to me. My mother didn't know, say. My mother used to say this thing. That Queen Elizabeth is a legitimate picnic. And now I realize when she say illegitimate, she don't mean that Queen Elizabeth's father is not the father, the mother is not the mother, but the bloodline of the British throne. There's where the legitimacy come in, because you have to be one blood coming right down to be part of the throne of England, just like in Ethiopia. All the emperors related in some way or another. All of them is either the grandson of the son or the father or the mother or something, but all of the emperors of Ethiopia have a bloodline relationship connected by blood. And so it is in England that the legitimacy of the British throne come through bloodline. And what this is saying is that the present monarchy is not the true monarchy. These things are going like some underground kind of history, underground story. But what? Them know it. You think them don't know? You ever hear them talk about say we gone by the morning, can't go good evening, and that them a work off for. Them a work off for say the thing gone bad already, now we can't really go function, say it wrong, you know, so you what we go do. We go just say it right, and the more you tell the liar, the more it become true. And see then now a man come and hurt the whole history, the whole thing, and now for sure you say something wrong. Somewhere, way down the line 500 years ago, something wrong. It's like how Queen Elizabeth the first make herself a virgin. Them people are easy though. But I want to say yes, because really and truly, a whole heap of the things them, when we remember about England and the history of England and Europe. And my mother, me get it through And she helped me by carrying me to all these movies. I remember all the movie named Cyrano. I tell you, I remember all the movie named Cyrano, you know, Rasta, that I say, wow. You know, when we go to Holland, I'm going to the torture museum, implements of torture. And I look at the things them where the Europeans them use to torture people in that way you call it Inquisition. You're dumb if you don't, and you're dumb if you do. When me hear my mother tell me about Robin Hood, and me see them make movie about Robin Hood, and them tell Richard the Lion-Hearted. And when me hear about Richard the Lion, me also realize that Richard was a real king who got plunder Jerusalem because the lion of their England. So when become lion-hearted. So it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing that Thomas Becket, when them kill him kneeling down in front of the altar in the church, they murder him. When you remember all Caesar, Julius Caesar and Brutus and all them people there. All them things them reflect back from my mother, the barbarians. It's a serious thing. So, we're glad for the confirmation over the years, after so much years. We come really find out, say, but wait, oh my mother know all them things they Rasta. She read them days there was no days of computer. And me I tell you the truth, my mother can see better than me right now because me see me and I look in front of the television as whole as she's there so now. And she read, when she watch CNN, she read the things them where the word them we have flash across the screen and at the bottom. And me if you open my eye wide and I try to figure out it's wait that say. And she don't wear glasses. My mother nearly so reached 90 and she don't wear glasses. And you remember all of them things there. From Palace Theatre to Gaiety to Rialto to Kings. All of them things there on one road. It's the only road in Jamaica we have 4 different names. Starting from Coke Church. It start name one thing and end up name the other thing, and it's one straight road. One straight road. But you did have Gaiety, with the right of the corner Hanover Street in front of Central Police Station. That was a theater where you used to pack up, where you go in the yard to triple bill. On a Monday night, them show you triple bill. Then you have Palace Theatre, where the right of the corner South Camp Road. The Machado over the other side. That time Machado did over the other side. So you have Palace Theatre. Then further down the line you have King's Theatre. That road near to Dunon Road. So after you pass a Vauxhall School, that one of them places are there Dunon. Yeah. And then you have Rialto. Rialto Theatre used to down right in front of Bellevue, they saw the main gate, that Bellevue at the bottom, they saw. And me used to go all of them theatre there with my mother. Because me and her alone live. And especially all Monday night, you know, have triple bill. 3 movies I watching on one night. That I will leave it as that. Sure, me I tell you, man. All of them things they come up back in my mind because me I remember these things when me I listen to the man. The first time I watch the documentary, me I was about wait. And my mother me hear I said these things about the illegitimacy of the Queen of England. Anyway, this is the Cutting Edge and R.I.P. We now have to leave upon that. And next thing we go on to
the new album.
Phone here, good night. I know nobody don't call you Taal, you know, but I will call you Taal. I can call you Taal.
It's actually Taal.
Taal. Okay. Okay, Taal is...
Tonight.
Yeah, she is a Gambian living in Atlanta, and she's one of the, should I say, coordinators of this Gambian Roots Festival.
I'm actually I'm the publicist for the Root Festival.
You are one of the publicists.
Yes, but I've been working with the Root Festival from the inception. My father is actually one of the first chairmen of the Root Festival from the beginning in 1996.
All right.
So I've been taking people to Gambia for the Root Festival since 1997, because it used to be a yearly event. But I also took young people to Gambia in 1994 as a high school student. And also, before the Root Festival started, I took college students from Morehouse and Spelman, 10 of them.
Wait, what you talking on? What you talking on? You talking through the phone or you talking on? What you talking on?
I'm talking through the phone. I'm just a little hoarse.
Oh, you're hoarse.
I've been in the hospital.
Oh, you was in the hospital, okay.
Yeah, my sister just had twins.
And you was in the hospital and your sister have twins? I don't understand that. Oh, you get school and go in the hospital because your sister have twins?
Because I was there in the delivery room helping her, so you know, lost my voice.
That's interesting. All right.
I was there in the delivery room helping her, so you know, lost my voice.
That's interesting. All right. So the Gambian, I think one of the reasons for this interview is the present scare that is happening in Guinea about this Ebola that is in Guinea, where quite a few people have died so far. Plus, we see that the Senegalese border was closed last week because of the fear of people coming across the border with the disease. And we know that Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, all of them is in the same area. So tell me, why is it that we shouldn't be scared about going to Gambia in this time of this Ebola scare?
Well, first of all, you have to understand what Ebola is. It's a virus, and it's passed on through contact with fluids of infected people or animals, such as urine, sweat, and blood. And it's been found in Guinea-Conakry, and apparently 101 people have been found with it, and out of those 101 people, they said that certain percentage died. However, just recently, they have patients who've come out from the treatment center who are Ebola-free. And so I'm not saying that it's not something that people should be alarmed about, but the CDC says that for travelers, there's a low, they should be concerned, but it's not a high concern. It shouldn't be a high concern because it's something, again, that is passed through contacts with animals.
Yeah.
And infected people through urine, sweat, and blood.
Is the Gambian government doing anything, considering that they are inviting the whole world to Gambia next month? Is the Gambian government doing any special thing to make sure?
Yeah, they've been very active in spreading information via mass communication, like print media, television, and radio, to the masses just about the Ebola virus. And really, the major thing is cleanliness, being clean, and not being around people with Ebola. At this point,
you're going to know when you're around people with Ebola. I mean, you're going to know that.
Well, you can't know that, but at this point in Gambia, it has not been discovered that there was anybody with Ebola.
No, I know there's nobody there, but I say now that given that Senegal is fearful, and the borders are very porous, that is really the problem, that these borders is porous. So there must be something that the Senegalese government, the Gambian government, they don't consider it a threat then. They don't consider it a threat to Gambia.
Of course, they consider anything that is a virus that can spread easily through the borders a threat to the Gambia. So that's why I said they're doing what they can via education to the masses, via the media, just to make sure that people are prepared, to know what it is and to prevent it from, having any type of impact on the people of the Gambia. So, and like I said, just recently, they in Guinea, they have patients who have healed from Ebola. They have like 10 people who have recently recovered. They have an 18-year-old who was just discharged. Her name is Rose Camano. And she said pretty much that she doesn't feel sick anymore, and she's really glad that she's recovered from her health. And the symptoms for it are pretty much like they're flu-like symptoms, except they come with like vomiting and a few other things. But like I said, it spread through contacts via fluids or blood, urine.
Yeah, all right. I was at a meeting the other day with ISIS, and she was saying that at the meeting last week and the week before, there was like a lot of people at the meeting, and since the news about this Ebola, the amount of people that come to the meeting has diminished. You think that this will have an effect on the amount of people that was intended to go to Guinea? I mean, not Guinea, Gambia. Have you seen any lull in the interest in going to Gambia?
I mean, I'm not in Jamaica at the time, so I don't know.
No, not in Jamaica. I mean, like in where you are, in the world, going on the computer, you might see people cancelling, or you might see people saying, well, if and but in. Have you seen anything like that?
Well, no, we haven't seen any major alarm about Ebola from travelers. That's because, like I said, the government has been doing what they can to just educate and send out information. The embassies have been very proactive in sending out information and letters to citizens of other countries, etc., about it. CDC has put out information. The World Health Organization, CDC, says what can travelers do to prevent Ebola. There's a vaccine for Ebola and no specific treatment. However, although travelers are at low risk for the disease, it is important to take steps to prevent it. And those steps are practice careful hygiene, avoid contact with blood and body fluids of affected people, do not handle items that may come in contact with affected people's blood or body fluids, avoid contact with animals. Like I said, they're saying that, be aware of it, but don't be entirely alarmed because you're at low risk. And like I said, it's not in Gambia. And for the most part, I find it very interesting. I'm not saying that, it's not there and it's not something to be concerned about. But I find it very interesting that as we have been going on this worldwide campaign to really organize our people throughout the diaspora around the issues of repatriation, healing, around the transatlantic slave trade, and what we can do to unify as a people to build the bridges for throughout the diaspora in Africa, that all of this, this is coming to part. And it just makes me think about things like the Tuskegee experiment, how, they injected 500 men with syphilis and used them as guinea pigs and rats, and told them they had syphilis, or you just think about HIV virus, how it came about and how it was, developed in the United States laboratories, in the armies, and the paperwork talking about that, you know what I mean? And just different things and how there's just always some type of biological warfare against our people in some manner, killing our people or just trying to make people psychologically have fear and be afraid. And so I'm just telling our people just to have faith and, to be aware of what's going on and definitely have concern. But, just keep your eyes on the prize as we move forward as a collective, be aware of what's going on, be aware of our surroundings, and, make sure that where we are, things are intact and hygiene is, at a certain level But, it just, like I said, it just reminds me of the propaganda that we continue to see in the media.
All right, tell me now, what is happening? What is happening? I mean, in terms of who are the artists from Jamaica that is booked to perform down there?
Well, they named Sizzla Kamanji as the music ambassador for the International Youth Coming Festival, this level edition, and that's the first time they've ever given that title at the festival. And they've also invited Mutabaruka to come and participate at the festival and be a part of the Pan-African Symposium alongside the son of Marcus Garvey, Dr. Julius Garvey, and Wanaka Rashidi, who is a world-renowned historian as well. And a number of other people have been invited. Erica Badu has been invited, and one from their Empress has been invited. You have local musicians and international musicians throughout Europe and as well as Africa that will be there. I don't know specifically because I'm not there on the ground and don't know those artists.
Oh, so you can go online and see it? They don't post it online?
No, they haven't. The sooner we get closer to the event, they'll have more of the information disseminated. But right now, a lot of it is still in the organizing process.
Yeah, and what date it is again? Remind me of the date again.
The dates are May 9th to the 17th, and it's the 11th International World Homecoming Festival, and it comes out of the whole concept of Alex Haley finding his roots in the village of Jufure in Gambia, and James Island, which was now called Kunta Kinte Island, is kind of like Rhode Island's story returning, and it's where thousands of Africans were held in captivity in the dungeons, in the slave dungeons, as they awaited slave ships that carried them over the oceans.
You have quite a few of them. You have one in Senegal, Gore Island, and you have 2 or 3 in Ghana. Very important.
Right.
Forts. All right. So you say it's the 9th to the 17th.
Yes.
All right. Go back to the Ebola thing now. The 9th to the 17th is you're talking about movements of people. Like functions, dancing, gyrating. How do you not come in contact with people in a festival?
Well,
that is like drinking responsibly. Drink responsibly in a party.
CDC says in their health, I guess you would say, information about Ebola, who is at risk. And it says cases of Ebola are seen sporadically throughout Africa, meaning it's not prevalent, and it's spread out. It's not like in concentrated areas. The risk to most travelers is low, but travelers could be infected if they come in contact with an infected person's blood or body fluids. Healthcare workers, family, and friends of infected persons are at highest risk. So at this point, since it's not even detected in Gambia, nobody's at risk. But the people who would be at risk the most would be people who work in hospitals, who would be healing people who have Ebola, and friends of people who are around, friends and family who are around infected people with Ebola. And like I said, recently, just I think 2 days ago, and today on BBC, April 9th, on BBC News Health, Guinea Ebola outbreak, some patients recovering. They have 10 people that have recovered from it, so it's not like it's deadly 100% now.
I was supposed to go to Guinea on the same trip. I was supposed to go to Guinea, and them cancel it.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was supposed to be in Guinea and Senegal.
Which Guinea? Because it's 3 Guinea.
No, they said Guinea. They cancel it. All of the circles in one area, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Senegal, all of them is one circle, and I was supposed to be going into all of those countries, Senegal, Guinea, Gambia, Sierra Leone, all of these places I was supposed to be going, but I hear is only one of the places that I hear them cancel, which is Guinea, which is there we hear that the Ebola is. You know, so anyway, that guy stopped me from going. You know, I mean, like I waited on my ticket. that stopped me from going still. You know, I have been into some places in Africa where if I started telling it, unbelievable. You know, but I guess people, as you said, legitimately will be fearful. But then, you know, you have to just see what you do. You know, you have to just know what you do. You know what I mean? So walk outside as and gunshot fire and shoot you and kill the same way, I don't know. But I am intending to go, and I would advise ones if them can go to go, because it's a very interesting African celebration in the west of Africa there, you know. So I am saying that one should go. So are you going to be there? Will I see you there because you so low like you have something? I don't know what you have. You have to go, you go to hospital, go watch baby come and you get whatsoever.
No, because, you know, we were there. She had twins. We were there for 19 hours.
And you catch cold, your body
no, I don't have cold.
What you have?
No, I don't have cold. My voice is just hoarse.
That's what I'm saying, body fluids. What body fluid was in the hospital?
Oh, come on. I wasn't near the body fluids. I was near her shoulders.
No, but the nurse, I want that. You know, I always wonder, I say, because this is always interesting with try, you know. Most of them disease there is white people go in at the place where the disease there and them not catch a disease. You know, how is it that black people have some disease and white people go there, the World Health Organization go in at the area, carry nurses and doctors in at the area. I mean, never hear none of the doctors them are dead from the disease yet.
Well, let me tell you, Muta, there was this lady in Gambia. Her name is Janice Carter. I've known her since I was probably 9 years old. You call her the monkey lady. There's an island, and there are a number of islands in Gambia. One in particular is called Baboon Island. And there's a lot of baboons on this island. And she's known, the Smithsonian, there's a lot of stories on her. She's known for going into the wild and working with the baboons. What she does, she goes and takes baboons that have been domesticated in Europe and America that people take as pets. She takes them back to the wild and she teaches them how to live in the wild as wild animals. And so she's been living in these islands, and you never hear her marry malaria.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing. It's amazing. You know what I mean? You hear about these diseases, and it's always white people going down there with them boxer injection and them fluids and things, and them now catch it. So, you know, it's a weird thing. You know, I need to be a doctor. Anyway,
I just say to the people, you know, let's just, you know, have faith, you know, keep our eyes on the prize, be unified, be precautious, know the facts, you know, but at the same time, you know, be focused. Don't let anybody derail us from what our goals are that we're trying to do as a collective. There's been a lot of momentum that we've been building. Let's continue to build that momentum. This is about healing. It's about spreading joy and love. But most importantly, healing, unification, building those bridges, you know, providing a vehicle and opportunity for the ones that really want to, you know, be in the Gambia or live in the Gambia to provide that vehicle for them.
Yeah, man, I have so much friends in the Gambia. I'm mad professor and all them man, they were set up studio and things down there, so, you know, them way
Let me tell you, my professor does every other year is a root festival. So
every year, man, we come to my place, man.
Yeah, every other year he does the Back to Africa Festival. Last year he had about 200 people, and he bought a house in a place called Bantukunku.
Yeah, I know. And I hear that what's name again? Frankie Paul. Frankie Paul lives on the.
He lives there. Yes, he lives there. And also Motown artists, the boys. I used to throw parties to take people to Gambia for free.
Okay.
And so we took Motown recording artists, the boys, down there. They've been down there working, and through the work that they've done, they've been working with Yusundu, Vivian. They did a number of songs with Akon through the Living in the Gambia. Africa is one of their songs. So we do a lot of work. We've taken Junior Kelly to the Gambia, we've taken Richie Spice. So his first performance in Africa was in the Gambia, and he promoted his own show. He was a promoter of his own show. A lot of people don't know that, but so we do a lot of, trying to do a lot of things, not only in the Gambia, but in Senegal, we do work there as well. So it's just about building on the legacy of Pan-Africanism and what, people like yourself and other leaders in our community, the Rasta community and the Black nationalist community and the Pan-African community, and communities fighting for justice all over the world is what we try to represent.
Well, Mama, I will see you in Gambia. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Give thanks.
Okay, well, get it, Jeff. That means thank you, Muta.
Okay.
You have to start learning Wolof now, okay?
I want to learn Wolof when I'm in Senegal amongst the Bafals.
Yeah, the Bafals.
That is my people. Bafal, that's my people, man.
Yes, the Bafals. They've been wearing locks since early 1800s.
Sheikh Bamba.
Sheikh Bamba Fall.
Yes. So tell me something. The Bafals are found in Gambia too?
Of course.
Because I know it's Sufi Muslim, but I don't know if it's the place of origin is in Senegal, and why I'm interested to find out if they are in Gambia too, the Bafals.
Yeah, Bafals are all over the world because.
You say all over the world. None of them know they are Jamaica, really, except me. You know what I mean? We are talking about Bafals.
Well, maybe not in
Jamaica, but
Europe. Yeah, them in different parts of Africa.
Yeah, well, that is where I know about them. And some come on my show and say, ask me if I'm a Bafal because them see me don't have no shoes and locks. And them know Sheikh Amadou Bamba was a man who don't wear no shoes and locks. So they was asking me if I'm Bafal. I said, what is Bafal? And they tried to explain to me. And it's when I go to Senegal that I really get a groundation of what is Bafal. And one of them actually come and visit me and
if you really study and understand Bafal and how they believe their principles, it's very similar to Rasta. It's Islam. But the humility,
it's more Sufi-like,
and being very cultural and close to the earth, and things of that nature. It's very, very similar,
Okay.
But I'm like you. I listen to a lot of John Henry Clark.
Well, I'm going to play John Henry Clark. When you hang up, you're going to play John Henry Clark.
Yeah, so I'm a club on that now. I listen to a lot of John Henry Clark, and recently I was listening to one of his tapes on YouTube, and he was talking about the origins of Islam, the origins of Christianity. Yes, our original African traditional religions, which we didn't have a name for, and talking about Isis and Osiris and Horus, and Egyptian ideology, ways of life, and things of that nature, and a lot of those stories and how they just transition over the years through different religions. So I just want us not to let religion divide us as a people. Not to let religion, not to let race, not to let,
Ebola.
No Ebola.
All right, we have to go down, though. We have to go, yeah?
All right, see you in Gambia. It's a homecoming, y'all.
All right, give thanks.
Gambia, May 17th, 554-8969. Call us.
Talk slow. Talk the number slow.
554-8969. Call Sister Empress Isis every Monday at 5 o'clock at Cafe Africa. There's a meeting. If you want to go, they still need sponsors. The individuals that need sponsors come to the table. Each one reach one. Let's make it happen.
Okay. All right, Mama. Give thanks.
Blessing love.
That's all I'm matter. Make a call her Ole Mata Taal. Gambian sister living in Atlanta, very regular here. Almost sometimes she provide IRFM with outside information, very important. It's one of IRFM connection for years. Yes. Okay, so we could go to this.
I suffer from
Otherwise known as Africa Love.
Blessed love, my land.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man.
Yes, Africa love, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brother Muta. I am there. We're there at a meeting place down by
Sunday.
Yes. Liberty Hall. You know, now as a brethren, really, as a man, you know, the capacity, you know, and knowing how, you know, organization operates and, you know, the principle behind certain things, especially when you are dealing with His Imperial Majesty works. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if could have really given a little view for how the IRA see it, you know?
See what?
The meeting in how it has been administrated from the top. Those who call the meeting. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously, is the chairperson call a meeting, Mitzi.
Yeah.
Figure out about our position and a letter that was written to whosoever, to members of the government, to move the youth them, we call them, we them now call Occupy Pinnacle youth them, for the land, which one see that as distasteful that Rasta should have write a letter implying that the government people them should have moved the youth them.
No, that was just how one interpret the letter.
Well, you ask me something.
Yeah, but no, I make that know that.
That is how one interpret it.
And so the letter B so far, you know.
But she read it. She never put no word in it. She read it.
And she interpreted that way.
Yeah, but she never interpreted for me, you know.
No.
Okay.
No, she interpreted that way, and those who help her put it that way. But even beside that, seeing...
So you interpret it then. Let me hear your interpretation of the letter.
Well, my interpretation is that we are in dialogue with the government, the Heritage Trust, you know what I mean, and the people that must own the land, you see it, in concerning of a heritage site. See, now, we is in dialogue within the government, in which Occupy Pinnacle members came at those meetings. And they hear what is required, you know what I mean, in concerning of further negotiation. In concerning of, countenance of the place and all of them things there. You understand me? See, and even when a heritage site identify, even it is identified as a heritage site like Lot 199, which is the site identified as a heritage site. See, then you have certain laws that govern that. You understand me? From even the heritage site, it is to be protected. Right? Because it has its value. First is a tabernacle. See? Up there, which was created by the Spanish owners of Nyabingi. You understand me? Who is also to those you could say resurrect the pinnacle issue where Leonard Pure is concerned. See? You understand me? Now, to look straight for it now, we look on the agenda of the program.
No, wait, talk about the women just a while about your interpretation. Don't go for the next thing yet, because we still want to hear your interpretation of the letter. That is what me just ask you, me just ask you what is your interpretation.
But check some deal with that already, because the interpretation...
No, you don't deal with it yet. Alright, me tell you my interpretation, so I want to hear what is your interpretation.
My interpretation is to mislead the Rastafari community to believe that the Millennium Council deliberately will tell the government to go up there with police and and get rid of these, and get rid of Occupy Pinnacle.
No, hold on. Because
That is all the letter argues.
no, wait, no. It's not the person who read the letter, write the letter, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I said, you know, what it sounds like to me is that the Millennium Council or whosoever is talking to the government.
Yeah.
And in talking to the government, the youth them is doing something contrary to the talk. That is what it is saying, you know. The youth them are doing contrary to that, so you have to choose now. It's either you're going to sacrifice the youth them and continue the talk with the government to bring about what you call a long-term solution, or you're going to now fight the thing on two levels. That means, you know, meanwhile you're talking to the government, you have someone out there who decides, say, all right, you're talking to the government, but we still have to continue this journey of occupying Pinnacle. What the Millennium Council or the people them who write the letter is saying, the youth them must stop the Occupy Pinnacle because them talking to the government. That is what it is saying.
The letter.
Yeah, the letter is saying, stop the rest of them don't need Occupy Pinnacle agitation because it is going to aggravate the situation in talking to the government. And if you keep doing that, you're going to agitate the talks with the government.
All right, they was in the meeting and they hear what the government said, right? They were advised.
Yeah, but
They were advised by the council to become a research committee where other monuments is concerned to remove the occupied Pinnacle. See, just that name then. But they was informed that they can still be there as a research team.
But why they must listen to the government? They say must use the word occupy Pinnacle. Why they must listen to them? Because
negotiation and because of listen. Them people are government, all their man. Political power are the only thing what free people, you know.
Yeah.
See? Understand me? Now we are dealing with a system, we are oppressed with. For almost years, what have we in a them way there? And if them put some requirements to we, all them will deal with me in concern of our rights. Our rights. We can't just deal with our rights. We can understand that.
So they must say something for our rights.
Dan, I come out now, something negative.
No, but Occupy Pinnacle is not negative.
I put a negative vibe.
No, wait. No, man, but wait. That can be seen as a sellout or you're talking. Listen to me, I say now. If you have fight a struggle, and you did not occupy the place where the struggle supposed to deal with, to make your voice be heard, and the people them who you have struggled against come to you and say, look, you know, make we talk, but you say, in order to talk, you must stop that part over this one. Alright, so the people them know who are talking to the people them know and say, alright, here I know. We can't get them to stop, you know, so we are asking you now, as the person who we are talking to stop them. That is what the letter is saying, you know, that you know, I don't know if I can stop them, you know, but you can stop them. So we are asking you to stop them because there is a problem to the talk from me and you have. I don't understand why I and men and people should not talk about my things and the next set of youth I deal with it on the next level and I must stop one of the level them to talk to the government. That means you know the government has set the agenda for I and them are wrong I and them are set agenda for I. Not go so Rasta.
The
eye them get old, man.
No, listen.
Yeah.
They're not a 16 in a fire. You know. It's a serious thing, you know.
But me understand it's a serious thing.
No. You see the old eye now. You are the council.
Wait there, me can't hear you good. Wait there. Me can't hear you good.
Try to sit up yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, hear me good now.
Yeah.
Right. See, if I really know and still attack, seeing that the council write a letter deliberately.
No, I never said. No, wait, no, man. I never said. No, but I never said nothing like that.
Indirect. Because you attack some direct, you know.
Yeah.
You tell me some direct, you know. Yeah. What the letter say, you know.
So what the letter never said, say?
Yeah, that simple means to them. What the other say now is that the council deliberately I tell them to send police go to the
No, wait, no, I don't talk about whether it's deliberate or not, you know. I never say it, I never use the word about deliberate, you know. I never use no such word about deliberate. I am saying that in the letter, it is stating to the government that it is necessary to stop the pinnacle people them.
Well, the letter
stop the occupied pinnacle people them. That is what the letter has said to the government. So who is going to stop? Who's going to stop the youth them? Who's going to stop them?
I and I talk to the youth them and tell them what the man them going to do where occupied pinnacle is concerned.
Yeah, but why you must write a letter?
Research. Why?
To suit who? 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 Who you going to
suit? I and I.
No, no,
to suit, you know. To suit
the government. No, the government has
no.
If I attack you about my rights, I attack you about my rights.
Come like you want to sue some individuals.
To do what?
What do you want to do? No, some individuals.
No. Hear me what happen. Hear what is the protocol of the thing now. I cannot see myself attack to a government that has persecuted Rasta for years. And then now, because I and them in dialogue without conversation, and them tell me, say, must stop them people over there, so, from call themselves a certain name. I know, when I go write a letter to them, to say, it is necessary and needed to stop them. Why am I writing a letter to the government to declare that it is necessary to stop them? Why am I writing a letter like that?
Well, I read the letter. They call them to me after me, so it's necessary to stop them.
No, I am asking.
I read the letter. Muta, did I read the letter?
Yes, I read the letter.
Yeah, and you wait, you read what you tell me about?
No, the letter says. The letter says.
No,
what the letter? No, the letter.
Muta, if you tell me so that about the letter, you don't read the letter.
What the letter says? What the letter says? I keep asking, you know, what the letter says.
Rasta, you tell me so the letter says that you don't read the letter.
Alright, what the letter says? Tell me what the letter says.
You don't see it?
Tell me what the letter says.
Right?
You have the letter in front of you?
No, I don't have the letter.
Alright, tell me what the letter says.
Right? You understand me?
I can't go on the computer and find the letter and read it, you know. What the letter says. Tell me what the letter says.
Go on the computer and read it?
No, wait, you tell me what the letter says. Tell me what it says.
I don't have the letter in the position right now.
I don't have the letter neither, and I tell you what it says, so you don't agree with what I said, so you tell me what it says.
I know that is not in it.
So if you know what it is, alright, so you tell me what it says. Virgin.
I don't read the paper, but I know, so you can't come in on the letter.
Virgin.
You say, definitely. You must move them. No, man, you can't.
I never said no like word like, but I never use no word like that, Virgin, but definitely.
Of course you just,
I never said no, but not definitely. I never said no, but not definitely. I never had that word in my mouth at all, but definitely.
Just right now, we have things to talk about. Where even this meeting is concerned.
Yeah, but that was part of the meeting. That was the biggest part of the meeting.
Yeah, it's part of the reason America can't come to a dialogue with that.
Why not?
Because you know why? Yeah. Because of all you think.
No, all me think. All me think.
Me tell you think.
No, all me think.
The letter describes council right that tell government to go up there, go get rid of the man.
No, the letter.
You know see it?
The letter is written to the government, complaining about the youth them, the occupation youth them. That is what the letter is doing. It is complaining about the youth them occupy pinnacle, because you say the argument between you and the government is that they must stop say occupation pinnacle and say
the problem with them up here with the
problem. No,
you're making the problem.
Yeah,
you know the problem, the desecration at the tabernacle.
What?
We don't have a problem with the youth up there now. and we not fight. No, you.
So why write a letter to
you know the course that talk about, you know the course I deal with towards up there, so the desecration of the tabernacle.
So why write a letter to the minister?
No, that's not the letter.
The desecration of the tabernacle.
With the youth, listen.
The desecration of the tabernacle in the letter. The desecration of the tabernacle in the letter.
Listen, the
desecration of the tabernacle in the letter.
You understand me? Yes.
Then all you have to know, the desecration of the tabernacle in the letter.
Yes.
And who is writing to the government about the youth them are desecrate the tabernacle.
Listen to me, man.
And it's going to cause a problem amongst the Nyabingi tradition and further and Rastafari and all. That is what the letter say.
The Rasta, not the Nyabingi.
So why is Rasta writing to the government to say these things about Rasta?
We know whose responsibility to protect the tabernacle?
The Rasta.
Yeah, right. And if it been desecrated,
Rasta must confront
to deal with it.
Rasta. Rasta.
Listen, man. Listen to me.
Who's supposed to deal with it? So who's supposed to deal with it? Yeah.
Rasta supposed to protect it.
So why Rasta is writing to men and people?
Protect it.
Yeah, so why Rasta is writing to government where we don't like?
You have to stick on one point, you know.
But that is the main thing. That is the main thing.
But that is the main thing.
Yeah.
What I talk about.
How it reach that Rasta complete
misinterpretation.
But it's not a misinterpretation. It's not a misinterpretation. Did whosoever write the letter write a letter to the government? All right. Did whosoever write the letter write a letter to the government?
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
Did the letter
to the government leader?
You write a letter to.
We send out the letter after to the community.
No.
After we talk, after we talk to the youth then. And show the youth them what is going on. I say, look at all youth. Them are going to use this.
Yeah.
Them are going to use this Occupy Pinnacle to deal with that situation.
Yes.
Right? See? So you're asking now. To avoid them things and all.
Stop using them.
Just remain a research team. Whenever I talk about stop using them.
Yes.
Just remain a research team.
Why they must remain a research team and not Occupy Pinnacle?
Because we want to prolong with our rights.
Because when you feel say it's going to compromise the conversation with the people.
We're not compromising.
No, I never say a compromise. I say the reason why this argument about research team come up is because when you feel saying Occupy Pinnacle will compromise the conversation that you're having with the authorities. That is the reason why when you say the youth, they must do that.
Right.
Yeah, and I am saying to you,
yeah.
When since Rasta now, because the youth them still at the Occupy Pinnacle, the whosoever write the letter now, I go against the youth them now. If you say, yeah, but it must go against you because it's not the government who must write to that, you know. It's Rasta must go to Rasta now and say, watch on our youth. A joke, not joke out this thing, and you know, to say this and this and you can't go right government go tell people about this and that, how Rasta and Taal influence the whole of the Rasta community and the Nyabingi this and the Rastafari community all over the world. It will cut this and this and that. It's crazy.
No, it's crazy. All the item carry it.
What have I said that is wrong? What have I said that is wrong? What have I said that is wrong? What have I said that is wrong?
You're wrong to say we are compromised. We're not compromising.
No, I never say you compromise. Oh.
No, Rasta, we don't compromise.
But I never say you compromise, brother. I say, listen to me, man. Brother, you know, listen to me. I don't like go over me talking, you know.
Yeah.
I am saying to you that in order to continue a conversation with the government, when you go to the youth them and say, look here, in the best interest of the conversation with the government, stop
the community. Community.
Stop all right. In the interest of the community. Stop
the community.
Wait now. Stop all right. Don't tell me how to talk, Virgin. In the interest of the community, stop talk and call on yourself Occupy Pinnacle. Call it about research. The reason for calling it a research thing is to facilitate the reasoning with the government because it is if we keep saying Occupy Pinnacle, will lose the reasoning, the conversation with the government. They're not going to want to talk to it if them here no keep us say Occupy. So if we don't keep saying Occupy, it's going to endanger what the community have in mind. That is a compromise.
All right.
It's compromise that.
All right, now. You call it a compromise.
Where you call it? Yeah.
Suppose we, the council, did lose the dialogue with the government because of that.
We don't lose the dialogue with the government?
We know. Let's say, supposing then, seeing we occupy Pinnacle because we permit the government stop leaving.
I'm asking if that was what happened. That was what happened.
Negotiation now.
Did that happen? Did that happen?
Stop police and go up the
I ask you a question. Did that happen? Did that happen? What you're saying, what you're proposing and supposing, did that happen?
No, it didn't happen.
Then why you support it for then? Then why you support it for?
Because a negotiation still continues.
But the youth them still at Occupy Pinnacle. But the youth them still at Occupy Pinnacle.
Then go on, so what them I say?
Then why you say they must stop say? But you are telling them must stop say because you don't know get to talk to the government.
We say that. No, we declare ourselves to the government, our stand. Right?
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
To make reason go through. If they want to stay up there, as long as they want to occupy Pinnacle, them stay up there.
Then why you go to them and tell?
Administrate the council have a responsibility. It must be administrated.
So why is it
administrate to the community, not to the individuals?
Yeah, so why you writing to the government about the youth?
You think me can just look for 100 youth?
No.
And sacrifice, you must look for 100 youth then. And sacrifice the whole community right to that.
For the 100 youth. So you better sacrifice the youth then. Then you sacrifice the youth. And that me saying at the beginning, You sacrifice the youth them in the interest of the community.
Because the old man put it.
No,
the argument is
it come back on the same thing.
You know the real argument about everything. The real argument where living upon the agenda in the meeting, we are causing the most problem in the community. The biggest problem we have in the community is what is going on with our double standard with the chair. But the biggest problem.
So all the chair never know. All the chair never signed the letter. No, all the chair never signed the letter. Yeah, all the chair never signed the letter that is sent to the government.
All the chair.
Yeah, the chair, Mitzi. Oh, she never signed the letter. She's the CEO, she's the elected CEO. Not she's the elected CEO. Yeah, so someone's and a group of
she was not a meeting for about
no, when I not she's in the meeting.
She's not at a meeting.
Brethren.
She's not at a meeting.
Brethren, I only set up on the things now. You know, member no work council now.
Listen, man.
So she's not the CEO then. She's not the CEO then. She's not the CEO.
She is. She is
the CEO. Okay.
She's the chairperson.
Yeah. So
but where was she?
No, it's not a matter. She never dead. She not dead.
No. She was on the island.
She not dead. Mr. She not dead.
She was on the island.
Yeah.
So why she never come to meeting?
Then so if she never come to meeting,
she never come to meeting.
Is there in the Constitution that says is the Constitution that you not have? Does it say that if the CEO is not present, one can usurp the whole thing?
We have a draft Constitution.
Yeah. Does the Constitution say
we have a Constitution well, a constitution will even ratify it. So ratify it.
So you can't do anything.
Constitution. So we don't want you bring a constitution with me. We don't drafting,
All right. So you can't do anything then. So if
it's not you can't do anything.
So you don't have no obligation. You don't have no obligation to the CEO.
We have a bylaws.
Yeah, so is the bylaw states that if the CEO is absent,
you come like that, you never give me
I am asking you, if the bylaw says that in the interest of the organization, when the CEO is absent for 50-100 times, you can now go ahead and write a letter without her signature.
Then tell me something. Then that will be dishonor our chair. Now our chair should dishonor. That's what that
we are asking. So it is in the bylaws.
Like she did. So
it is in the bylaws for that.
Administration is concerned.
Yeah, it is in the bylaws.
Administration is concerned.
Yes.
See? where the principle of administration is concerned.
So Becky is a 12 tribe. Becky is a 12 tribe man. And the other brethren that sit down there is not in agreement. Becky is a 12 tribe man, one of the biggest Rasta organizations in Jamaica. Becky is sitting there and not in agreement with the ones them to send a letter to the government.
But he never even talk about that in a film talk.
Yes, he never agree.
He never talk about that, man.
He never agree with it.
He jump on a man, a next man.
He never agree with it.
But when he come talk about
but
all we are going,
so you think he never agree with it?
You can't say even him.
He never agree with it.
You can't say even him. You mention him. You can't say a planting, and you see that.
Say that planting
about get a chance to explain themselves.
No.
This is a cheat here for that.
They don't mean it about they don't mean it about out for say make Greg
Muta.
talk.
Listen me now.
I mean it about out for make Greg talk, you know. I mean it about out for say make Bobo Greg talk.
But think the meeting proof the shall meeting the reason I mean that I mean that no reason that I meeting. That even prove illegal to the administration. You know, see it from the top.
So who is the head of who is the CEO of the Millennium Council?
Who is the what?
Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council?
The CEO?
Yeah, the CEO, you don't know them CEO, brethren. Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council? That me ask you. Me no remember. Me ask you who is the CEO of the Millennium Council?
Yeah, me no Muta. You say something to that.
No, wait, just answer me, no, brother. That simple question. Who is this?
When you say CEO, you mean?
You don't know what CEO mean?
No, me don't know what it mean. When you say what it mean?
Oh, gosh, man. Brethren, if you don't know what CEO mean.
Me don't know what it mean then.
No,
me don't know what it mean.
Yeah, but you say, well, you have to go to know.
Yeah.
You have to go revise your membership of organization that you don't know what CEO mean. I ask you who is the CEO of the Millennium Council. You don't know who the CEO of the Millennium Council. You don't know what CEO mean.
You understand?
You want me explain to you what CEO mean?
You know, say.
Me hear your Taal program me hear your Taal program all the way. No, Bridget. No, wait there. Me hear you. No, wait, no. No, listen to me. You have to
listen to me, you know.
No, I'm asking you. Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council? I'm not trying to belittle nobody. Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council? Yeah, you know. What you know? You're going to history. May I ask you a simple question? Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council? You just answer me a while ago about the CEO, you know. You said the CEO never present. That means you know what CEO mean. You know what CEO mean, but I said the CEO never present. I am asking you.
If you know, so me know it mean we are asking about that.
No, I'm asking you, who is the CEO of the Millennium Council?
You understand me? Hello?
Yeah, may I ask you, who is the CEO of the Millennium Council? The legitimate CEO that everybody vote for. Who is the CEO of the Millennium Council?
The chair. No, Mitzi.
Alright, if Mitzi...
But you know, walk out that chair, you want to dismiss herself from the council.
When she did that?
She dismissed... you see, I reply to the letter. You say, I know I go on, you know. Yeah. And she said she dismissed herself from the council, you know.
If what?
With the Naya Bingi mansion, you know.
No, if what?
Themselves from the council because
If what?
See?
If what?
Because that's her interpretation to the letter where she right now said something like that. The Millennium that give the government power to go up there with police.
No, what happened? No, what happened? I can tell you what happened. No, but I can tell you what is happening. No, based off of what I saw, but I am no member, no Rasta organization. Based off of what I saw and what I heard, what is happening is that there is a usurping of the organization by another group of people. There's a next set of ones who said, I am totally not with this CEO. We need a new CEO. That is what they must say. And they don't intend to vote for it. You see, them don't intend to vote, but them just want to install somebody else without a democratic voting for an next CEO.
That's you talk about democratic now. Oh, you come here.
They're not democratic, Mr. Aguane, so they're not democratic.
No, you talk about, and you just talk about government.
So it's not democratic.
Respect no protocol, you don't talk about democratic.
But no democratic thing, Mr. Aguane.
That's here to talk about.
But that's a theocratic thing, Aguane, so. You know what theocracy means? Which theocracy? What do you mean? What do you mean of theocracy?
You know, so that's why the island are going on.
What is the meaning of theocracy? What is the meaning of theocracy?
Righteous government.
No, theocracy, wait there,
you know, so you take things, like you take things like man a fool.
No,
like
I am asking you.
Like man.
What I saw there was a democratic situation.
You know, answer to the eye.
Yes.
We want to examine the real problem then of the Rastafari community.
No real problem in the Rastafari community. A real problem in the Millennium Council.
No, man.
It's in the Millennium Council.
The Millennium Council will have no problem. The Millennium Council have them agenda. With them a work plan.
Yeah.
The only problem the Millennium Council have are the Naya being the mansion. With them only for mash up things. I want a question where you.
What I saw on Sunday. What I saw on Sunday. What I saw on Sunday. No, what I saw on Sunday.
Listen.
Tell me the question. What I was
the Millennium Council will have no problem, No problem.
Why? I must be in a different world, brethren. I must be in a different world.
Oh, you mean?
Because I came to a meeting Sunday.
I tell you where the problem there.
Where the problem
there? I tell you where the problem
there. Where the problem
there? The Naya being the mansion.
Yeah.
We're going to scotch part. We're going to know with man and man down there. All a man to go be.
If no problem is in
God, me and you in a profile place, and we talk, say, we not collect the money last something rally, thing, And when we are after money collect, notice was a Millennium Council and the Coral Garden committee doing that thing, where that thing is concerned, No, we are you and everybody committee doing that thing, where that thing is concerned, No, we are you and everybody talk about that. Who collect money? Who send our chair, the council chair for collect money? And the council know how much money collect? And does the community know how much money collect? You understand me? That's the problem there. The biggest problem the council have at the Naya Bingi. At the Naya Bingi mansion with the money for confusion. And come to we like ignorance. The top of the council do, the work of the council do, Never been done yet. Now the history of Rasta.
Was it?
Wait now, some little brother now who mash up everything one time, Also, the thing they mash up, them now come to mash up the council.
Like who, sir?
You never see them there. Them there at the meeting.
No, who are mash up?
Two chairman there. The two chair, the chair, and we're up with two more chairs.
Who was the other chair?
Two chair. I have I.
No, we
have two more chairs. I have I. No.
No, you don't understand. No, that is not fair.
I don't think them want to talk about that.
So let me talk about it.
You know I'm going to deal with it.
So let me talk about it. Let me talk about it. You're going to make me talk about it. You're going to make me talk about it.
Talk to you.
All right. The meeting was getting out of hand. Everybody talking this, talking that. The chair says, look here, we need
some chairman.
You know, listen to me, I say. Bridget, if you're not listen to me, I say, I just go and do me that up on the program.
All right, go on.
Yeah.
I know you.
No, I'm not put you, I just go and do me that up on the program because the same thing.
All right.
Watch out, I'm going to show you something now. You see me now? I prefer I deal with the people them and try to get the people them conscious and go through all of this, You hear what I say now?
Yeah.
There was a whole heap of argument in the meeting, and the chair said, we need order. And when Ivy get up and say, we need to elect somebody to maintain the order. The chair say, all right, we're electing you then. And everybody say, yes, you. All right. So, him was the one now who's going to say no. We're going to give everybody 3 minutes to talk. It's not no chair business now, is trying to keep order. You're going to give everybody 3 minutes to talk. When somebody reach 3 minutes, I'm going to say, your time done, your time done. Obviously, it never go that way. Because when Rasta start to talk, them don't care about protocol, them don't attack. So that him was acting as no chairperson. He was acting as a person who was voted to give some kind of sensibility to the meeting.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you say no that it was chairperson.
You know why I can't say that now?
Yeah.
Because I see all other speakers talk and talk long. Who's talking against the council? Who's fighting the council can't get up and talk anytime they want to talk.
But Maxine didn't talk long, Bridget. Maxine didn't talk long, you know. Maxine talk very long, you know.
No, you have PRO. You have General Secretary.
Yeah.
See, almost with it. You have the ambassador for Rastafari.
Then why everybody...
You know, how can you give me 3 minutes as a PRO?
Why not? Because if you don't...
No, man.
It's
in a concern like this.
Yes, because what happens is that you're going to have everybody and take 40, 50 minutes. And
the rest of them go up there and talk as them like.
No.
Did the coach ask? Let me ask you a question now. Did we, the members of the council, the executive, did we create any? Did we was behaving in any way? Not we just sit decently, sitting, reckoning to the chair that we want to say something. For hours. For hours.
No, not hours. You don't know what's waiting.
Right. Me don't talk. Them say me talk 4 minutes over, and that's all me talk in the meeting, you know. Call that, them give me 3 and them say me talk for 7 minutes.
Yeah, but it's 3 minutes. The man say 3 minutes to everybody. They never make no distinction.
Yeah, but me see man talk more than one time.
But Maxine no talk long, Rasta. Everybody did talk more than long. Everybody where they did it.
You understand me?
Nobody that was there talk 3 minutes. Nobody did talk.
But hear me, you know. Me say. And I tell you about what me say now at the meeting. I mean, I know, I answer the eye blind. But me know, say, the meeting we plan, it never stick to its agenda where they did it. It deal outside agenda. It just attack the council. See? On a letter where them say,
so it's not right.
On a letter where them describe, so we say, police go up a pinnacle, go deal with the youth them up there. Right. See? The other thing again, when them to deal with the most important thing, you know, when them should have dealing at the council, what happened to the chair? Why is a problem with the chair? Why are some virgins, as you say, saying, is against the chair? Why?
But to me, what I saw there, to me, what I saw there, it would appear to me that the community never have no problem with the chair.
That's what it.
What I saw there, because they was voting for those who's in favor of the chair put up their hand, and everybody put up their hand.
Right. And that is only one mansion, only entitled to 2 votes.
No, not one mansion. How many mansions were sitting there?
No, man. Younger Prince Fagan.
No.
But
Fagan is part of the Millennium.
Fagan is a Nayabingi man also.
Yeah, but when I say it's not only Fagan, it's the whole of the congregation. Put up their hand. It's the whole of the congregation put up their hand.
Well, I never see, maybe at the time when I leave out.
No, but I tell you that. Those who's in favor of keeping the chair put up their hand. Everybody in the congregation put up their hand.
Anyway, that means to me personally, 3 hours a legal meeting to administrate. Right? And it's also, to when the ear it has been recorded certain way. You understand me? So the evidence is there. To show the injustice or possibly you nasty when it comes to the laws of the imperial majesty.
No, the laws of the imperial majesty. I don't join organization. I don't belong to no organization.
No, listen. I ask I will.
But I tell you that I don't belong to organization or rat organization.
No, never say I belong to organization. When me ask it, right? Where is majesty is concerned, that meeting on Sunday, right, proved to be an injustice towards His Majesty. And all the council was treated, you know, to all the work for the council, though.
So Becky,
and this was the thanks where a clique Organize.
So everybody are called clique. Everybody, the whole of them call one another clique. So you have a clique. So you have a
with this and so them a draw card.
So is that so the Millennium? So the Millennium Council is part of a whole clique, the pure clique of the Millennium Council.
The thing is, some man will deal with certain things, certain they can just come overrun good, just push out good one side, so. And so it go, you know. And so it go with Rasta, you know. You have some man believe them can't do that, you know.
Yeah, you have some Rasta.
Our work we do.
Yeah.
Our work we do. Go up on the internet and see the work.
You have some man who stand up and disrespect other Rasta man blatantly.
And man come physically for fight.
Yeah, so nobody
come for fight.
Yeah, a man come and tell man say them shot man. A man tell man say them shot man.
Oh, well we don't know about that.
So I lie the virgin I tell. I lie the virgin.
We don't know about that. We don't know about no shot thing.
Yeah, and a man a B man. A man a B man.
coming up for fight.
Man a call a B man.
You know what I'm saying? You say if we never strong, you say if John never stand up in an eye and eye,
fighting a bro.
come push you over.
Yeah.
Now they come push you over.
Yeah.
Because they can't come fight eye and eye.
Yeah, but man a call man a B man.
You know see? Yeah. When that? If a man come say, when he talk about him come talk about it on a personal issue.
But on a personal issue, man. If I
a man business that.
Yeah, but a whole heap of man say man tell that.
Come talk that the man say my bad man.
Then a whole heap of man him say tell that too. Whole heap of man him tell that too. Another first him tell the man that. Another for one man him tell that too.
Yeah, then what you're not to know.
Yeah. But you know.
That
it has something to do with it. No, Brett, it has something to do with it. No, it has something to do with respect. Respect, better than the letter. Respect. It has something to do with respect.
It only has something to do with respect. Between two men.
No, to me, more than two men. I know the first time I hear that. Me hear that about me too.
Me not going away me never hear.
No, when me I tell you, me hear that.
Me never hear.
But you know, me I say. You say respect. You say respect. No, you want to know what me I stretch it. You say respect. You see, if a man can't have respect for him brethren, him can't come tell me nothing.
All right. I can't think with
that. He can't tell me nothing. So why you feel say? So why you feel say?
Can't come tell me nothing.
So why you feel say the brethren a tell lie and me a tell lie?
Me say me feel say when I tell lie.
Yeah.
Me no feel so when I tell no lie.
You know, that's why you go to the brethren. Yeah, you go to the brethren. You go to the brethren. But you forgot to the brethren.
The truth on me, so me never did that.
But me never did it from nothing. But me I tell you, say. Yeah, but you're not.
You're not. When the man said that.
You
me never did it. I'm saying me now going at that.
But me want going at. Me want going at. Me want going at. Me want going at. Me want going at because
but if you want going at that, you're going to listen to the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing to say about that, you know.
Yeah. But you're afraid to say something about it.
Every man will tell that.
And that's how the politics come in, you know. The politics come in now where Rasta start sound like PNP and GLP. Because here is a man where I disrespect Rasta individually and otherwise, and because once it's associated and close with him, them don't want to reprimand that brethren because that brethren they have money and power and throat about the place, and that is how it is going. Just like
you know the brethren have love.
Love where? And I tell you, brethren.
No, I'm sure something now.
Yeah.
No money.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sure something. Listen to me.
Yeah.
No money.
Brethren.
You could have rich.
All right,
you could have money. You could have money. But you can't hold in Jamaica.
Yeah.
You not live right. You have a dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear me?
Whether you live right,
you could have a billionaire, a billionaire, a billionaire.
Yeah.
A Indian word.
You could have both.
You say if you not live. You live it.
But all when you live right, you go dead. All when you live right, you go dead. But all when you live right, you go dead.
I tell you that. So you come talk about the money.
You know, listen to me.
I money this.
You know,
I money this.
Yeah, but
I love this.
So and the brethren
I love this.
Slander
money.
Fit slander brethren them way there's love that.
You understand me?
Slander. I have never heard a brethren that say no brethren.
Never tell my brethren. Never tell you as my brethren then.
Yes.
Cut off a man from the program.
I would have never. I would not. No, me not cut off this man from which program.
Boy, maybe.
Cut off this man from which program.
I saw so things go.
Me not talk about put a man from
I just
program.
virgin, I just man, a man talk, them talk.
A joke you make, a joke you make. A joke you make. Watch your brethren. There's certain things that man not tell him, brother.
But that now not to do that now not to do them.
Nobody.
That
no
me
brother talk to your brother that way. Your brother, you don't talk to your brother that way, brethren. You don't talk to your brother that way.
Tell me.
I have never heard that brethren say anything good about any Rasta.
The junta will them try to put on the council.
Anyway,
we have to overthrow.
We haven't done this conversation,
you know, see it?
Because this sound like the meeting. This conversation sound like the meeting when we go there that day.
You see,
I mean, really want
you see the arms out. You see the arms out.
That me I tell you.
What me I tell you now? You see, a man I deal with mass media.
Yes.
You must respect.
Your brethren, your brethren all at you. You think him not, me not hear him. Your brethren, your personal brethren, you know. All them one they went up on the media would think that it's something. Yeah.
You see, as a mass media man, one you respect your asset.
You know, so the hypocritical thing about this. You know the hypocritical thing about this. You know the hypocritical thing about this. A whole heap of brethren will move with you. Can't take me. Me I tell you that.
Yes. Can't take you.
You know, that's how somebody can't take me. Can't take you.
Like me, that's me not like you.
Because yes, them kind of way.
Yeah.
Because of my position, and a man that say, boy, yeah, you see all you with the power radio and this and that. Yeah. Anybody will find himself in a position like me. You have some Rasta, we're out there, and most of your brethren them is like that.
Most of my brethren there.
Yeah, them not know them brethren. Me know them. You think me idiot?
He's like my brethren.
No, I never say you. I say your brethren them. I never say you. I never say you. You know, listen to me now. I never say you. You know, I say your brethren them.
All right.
And I am saying to you that them don't show I no respect.
Oh, they don't show the eye.
No way. No.
Right.
Yes, and I am saying now that. This brethren that I am talking, I have never heard him say any good about no Rasta. Never. I have never, whether upon tape or whether upon voicing, stand up and listen to him and talk to other people. I have never heard him say any good thing about Rasta.
Not you when I sing. Not you when I sing.
Sing, anybody can sing anything.
Nothing when him record.
Man can't, I say, brethren, like stand up in front of brethren.
Let me hear him do that all. Why?
Yeah. So
you know, not tell you the truth. You know, long now I move with Jabby then. Now from Bob them alive, you know.
Yeah.
Touch him and the whole of them, you know.
Well, maybe it's old age, maybe old age that catch up on him. Old age that catch up on him. Frustration. Frustration that catch up on him.
You know, say me.
Frustration and catch up on him.
When them say Peter face it too, you know.
Me say frustration
and them say Bob face it too, you know.
Yeah, but me never say him face
it. Sometimes, you know,
me never say him face it, you know. Me never say him face it, you know. Me never say him face it, you know. Me say the disrespect. No, listen to me. The disrespect.
The disrespect
that he shows to his brethren and sistren needs much to be desired. Because when I look on the internet, I swear him right. And when I stand up and hear how him deal with other brethren, I say, wow, this is a serious thing. Can a man who look for the next brethren and say where him said to the brethren, because I, in all my vexation, would have never say where I hear me not talk about what somebody tell me. Where I hear him say to a next brethren.
And read where him say.
To a next brethren.
Well, you see, I now have internet, you know.
Yeah, well, I have internet, but I have internet.
You know, why document them things that for me and give me
it can't come off. It can't come off of the internet. It can't come off, you know.
So it can't document.
No, I say, it's not a documentation. I don't have no time for document disrespect. I don't have time for document disrespect, you know. I am saying to you that this is the brethren now where a whole heap of ones I've gone to where I see and Jerry bring it up and nobody never want to deal with it. That's why Jerry walk out of the meeting. And when the other brethren, when the other brethren stand up and call, say him have 8 names, where I go call. And him start call out the 8 name.
That's a witcher.
Yeah, when Witcher stand up and call 8 name, and I realize him call the same brethren name, and I say, but wait, this brethren here is the brethren now where you have a set of ones we link to. Because I have summarize, I don't know nothing about the politics, you know. I just got long in there like, it's the first I ever come out Millennium Council meeting, you know. And I hear so now say, well, I can't do what I summarize at the meeting, is that there's a group of ones that is aligned to the brethren, and there's a group of ones that is aligned to the chair. So there is a fracas of one between these groups.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure so. Yeah, I'm sure
this one is for this brethren, and this brethren, they want to install, according to what I see, they would like to install this brethren as a legitimate chair of the Millennium Council.
No. I'm going to tell you this, that now. You know what caused the problem with the chair? I man, ask to appoint Jabi as honorary chair. Now, I'm nothing to do with the chair. If you know what's an honorary chair,
no, I know what's an honorary chair.
A one who have certain credential, personality, an international figure, a man recognized all over the world can be an honorary chair. Now, me look upon it and I say, but Jabi is a well man, a man with the whole world here off. A man like this, man who can deal with events like when I deal with now, with even the march.
Yeah, but you might get this, Bridget, you might get this, right? You might get this, man.
See, we know. And it's so now, I man write a letter and request that Jabi become the honorary chair. That now I'm going to do with chair.
No, I know what to do with the chair. You know that I'm going to do with the chair.
Listen. An honorary chair can be appointed without even the chair. An honorary chair. I can be an honorary chair.
No, I know why I'm no honorary chair.
You're not talking about what you want. Not talking a man like the highway, you know, where start call your rest, media-wise and all them things, popular, and thing, right? I man could have recommend you as an honorary chair in any other organization.
I understand that.
Because you have the qualification. You have nothing to do with the chair over there. Your work different. You can go tell she nothing.
Yeah, but it don't override the chair itself because the chair is legitimate.
No, I just said that now that one believe that we was put in Bonnie there. It's not even we, you know, it's me, Kremlin, write the letter and request that.
I have read letters. Read letters on the internet by Bonnie.
And you know what come out of that from the same chair now? That we is putting Bonnie there to get out our chair.
Bonnie Wheeler says in letters on the internet that is ready to govern Rasta. That is what
but he said. There's a difference between an honorary chair
and I understand what you are saying. I didn't say no.
An honorary chair can never threaten. It's not a threat to no chair or the president.
It's a threat.
It's not a threat.
It's a threat if a group of one. It is a threat if a group of one believe or feel that the honorary chair would be more suitable to rule the organization. It's not a threat.
No, the virgin is not that way.
No, I never said the virgin.
None of us is not that way.
Well, all right, I have to take what you say.
Because the alpha chair was offered to him and him turned it down.
Yeah, me never said nothing.
The alpha chair was offered to him.
Me not disagree with the virgin. Me not disagree with him.
Him can't deal with that. Because him the man, him up and down, him move a bit.
But I hear Bonnie Wheeler say him go form a political party. You never hear Bonnie Wheeler say him go form a political party.
You see, you're talking about, you're going back in that history.
No, because I'm not. Yeah, but me read just the other day where him say him ready for lead Rasta.
Yeah, the lead so that he say is a political power are the only power where you're independent.
Listen to me. I have email.
If you ever deal with a country,
it can't come out, you know. It can't come out, you know.
Rasta so have to have political power to it.
Look here, it can't come out. I never say no, but I have said.
Rasta have to have political power, you know.
I never say no, but I am saying.
Right. And any man, any advocate.
Yeah, so give what you just say. Give what you just say.
Right now, Mr. Amazon, I'm an advocate for the people.
It can't come out on the internet. He says that he's ready to rule Rasta.
to rule Rasta.
Yes, to govern or rule what you.
No, man, them man that knows are his imperial majesty. I rule of Rasta man.
So somebody
rule Rasta man.
Somebody
them man that meet Rasta man now talk them things that knows are majesty rule man.
Make up put it a different way.
Yeah.
Make up put it a different way. Since you don't want to say rule. He's ready to lead Rasta. That sound better to you?
What you say? Rasta wants a leader?
No, I know say that. No, it's
Rasta
him
wants a
saying.
leader?
No, Ewa. You tell me what to say rule. Alright, so I am saying, I apologize for saying rule. What it says,
leader.
He's ready to lead Rasta.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what. The letters are on the internet, it cannot come off.
Yeah, alright. Then what is wrong now if I say I ready to lead Rasta? Something is wrong with that?
Well, I grew up to believe Haile Selassie are the only leader.
Yes, him are the only leader.
Yes, that is why I see him. That's why they
you know.
It's all about so now you're supposed to be the leader. No Bonnie Wheel are the leader. As everybody a leader now.
Man.
Let's see not say him elected. See, let's say him elected, you know.
Yeah, man.
Let's say him elected.
Muta, you know me want me to talk about.
You know me want talk about. The education of the people them towards them African identity. Because these arguments is getting nowhere.
Alright, then you know, so we are regular talk upon it.
Yeah, me know, but you see,
you know, it's a black people have to go redeem themselves, going on themselves and looking at themselves.
That's why they want to use the program.
They want to use themselves to educate the people and stop fight progress.
Me want to use the program.
I feel black man is liberty all, you know. I Rasta man, I look what go on in there.
Yeah. Every time it happens. I never turn out no different yet. I never turn out no different.
Right. See, so the more ones that I try to say, I could have a one vice. You have a next set to say, no one vice of blouse and skirt.
And then the other person over there, so I say, Una said over there, so it said,
I said when him say no one vice, I continue and try to mash it down.
A PNP thing, I go on in a Rasta.
Yes, you understand me. See, so may I say no, that are the problem now we are where I confront the council.
Yes.
The
so you want to work on the council thing, brethren.
Yes,
go and work on the council thing.
But you I hope that it goes in the interest of Rasta. Forgive me. I give the nation, give the world a positive vibes on what is going on.
That is what I do. That is why I do.
To the eyes to the partiality.
You see on the radio?
Yeah.
Alright, if you notice, you know, Andrea mostly deal with certain things when it come on to Rasta, you know. And I deal with certain things when it come on to, you know, education of black people, play certain tapes and all that. You know why? Because I refuse to get involved with these kind of thinking, this talk. I don't want to involve in it. I'm a Rasta, but I'm not working a Rasta program. I'm working a program in the interest of African people who want some education, and them don't have the education, them don't have the sensibility. So it's a Rasta now. Rasta sometimes confuse the whole issue. Because this argument had nothing to do with the liberation of black people. This argument
that meeting Sunday have nothing to do with the liberation of black people.
Nothing. It has nothing to do with the liberation of black people.
Alright, my brother. Well, that is, you see me now, I'm satisfied with that.
No, what do you there?
Satisfied with that.
Listen, but may I tell you that?
Yeah,
you see me now,
would have
preferred to see me yard and listen to all this. Yeah, would have preferred to see me yard and look at the
people come this up.
Would have preferred to look at my cabbage them on my yard and my cauliflower and my kale them. And then go play some old this after. But you see that to me, I can't do without that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I prefer to come here and play some tapes. That's why I'm a while ago.
One more thing, this is not the Millennium Council call that meeting, is Mitzi.
Okay.
Crew.
Yes, okay.
It's Mitzi.
So who is the crew? Who is the crew?
I have IV, Wita. Some more virgin.
What Wita is in the Millennium Council?
You know, something we recognize House of Dread, you know, we recognize the RCO, Brother Junior. and the next virgin will have him long locks.
I can tell you something.
Right, that was the next mansion. I want you to know this though, no. I want the rest of them to know this though. That they also have an honor chair position in the Millennium Council.
Yes.
Because Rasta Silva was an honor chair for the Millennium Council before he died.
Yeah, I can tell you something. You see, what's your name? What's your name again? What's your name? What is that? What's the consultants? What's your name again?
Sister Maxine Stroke.
All right. You see, Maxine, I am sitting there listening to Maxine, you know. Right. And I am getting all sorts of disturbance. I say, what the hell these people don't shut them out?
Right.
I am understanding what Maxine is saying. And I wanted to hear Maxine. And obviously, because she was supposed to be on the other side, it keep going on that she must get to the point. What she was trying to explain is not a yes or no thing. It had to have some kind of clarification to get to the point. And I was very interested in hearing what Maxine saying, only to hear the alabalu.
Right.
That annoys me. It annoys me.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So what I am saying...
Design.
Not design. It's just indiscipline. It's not design. Rasta indiscipline. It's not design. Nobody never designed that. It's indiscipline.
Yeah, indiscipline.
Yes. That there's a certain indiscipline that don't allow for other people's response.
Yeah.
To respond to certain things. So when you respond and you don't agree with it, it's pure noise. Understand? I was not into the noise. I want to hear. Because everyone have a way. You say something, so you must say something now. Make I hear, and then I can weigh and balance the two things. I did not hear any balance going on when that sister was talking. But is the letter bring a different twist to the whole conversation. Yeah. Because that was what started to boil up the thing, you know. Because when the letter was read, there was no interpretation to the letter, you know. What it says is what it says.
Right, but what you're saying is the letter was read by
it don't matter who read the letter.
Interpreted in
no.
Listen.
No.
The reader read the letter
and the reader
interpret that letter. No. That's why she writes a next letter stating that what the decision of the Millennium Council, where Atrocity penalty is concerned, they are making up with the government to make police go up there and get rid of the youths then. That is how she interprets the letter.
But the letter,
and that is how she responds to the letter.
The letter speaks for itself.
Right.
That Rasta is writing to government because them in there. And you know what it is?
After she responds to it that way, right? You know what she did? She spread. We never want to go back.
What is happening is that there was a greater good that was needed to be preserved. So it's either you throw those little people to the dog at the interest of the community. And what one did was to throw the youth at the dog and nothing don't happen.
No, we never do that. We hear me now, Muta. I say it so then. We say it so then. Me can't teach growing people, you know. Yeah. Me there have to teach my.
You know, so I have to move though because you make me miss all sort of things.
All right, Milan. Everything good, man. We link up.
Tell your brethren, say.
Africa love.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Tell your brethren, say.
Yeah.
Mutabaruka. Yeah. On the radio. It's Mutabaruka off of the radio. So him not have to chew no word against Mutabaruka on the radio because him not on the radio. Who me I talk about? I don't remember where him name, but in the desk kind of right behind me. Him talk continuously all the while and very, ritualistic. But just him know who me I talk though because him a throw a word behind me like him a throw, and me I pick it up because him a throw him can and me him no call no for but me pick it up. Because me are the only one.
Never find out that.
Yeah. Because you see, I realize there's a certain I don't know if it's what. With ones who feel say because Rasta find himself in a certain position, you have to bring down the Rasta there. Even though you see the works of the Rasta, undisputable, you see the works. And I don't know why a man that want to fight against me on the radio. I don't know why. I trying to figure it out. I still want to talk to my wife all the way. Why is it that a Rasta would have wanted to say something against Mutabaruka on the radio? Is it that because I have born Jesus? I mean, I say God.
This is just like what you want to know, what you don't want to know. Why the man am fight the council so? That you want to know.
Alright, sir. Because the council split. That's
no, man.
The council split.
The council just saying that the chair has dismissed herself and there's an application for a chair.
Okay, but when them vote the whole, them vote by the same person. I don't understand that. If there's an application for a chair and them have a vote, and everybody in the place vote for the same chair.
No, you see, Junior Man is dead and gone. All
Junior Man.
Right now?
So,
who voting there now?
Who voting meeting there? Who vote meeting there? No, who vote meeting there?
You know a question I like to ask.
Who vote meeting there? Who vote meeting there?
That's a lie. No. No, I know to succeed. If you succeed, if I and I just say, well, all right.
Who disagree?
This data is here, and this data,
that means then vote that. If you come to agreement, I vote that, you know. If you come to an agreement, whether it's a succession, because you never have, we're going to have a election. If everybody agrees, say, this data supposed to succeed the person before, it's a vote, man.
Yeah, but if we even vote, I wish to say, who you vote for, skid, just like the Prime Minister them.
Yeah, but if
you have to change them.
No, you have a next vote. You have a next vote.
Yes.
Because there's people there who don't agree.
Want to win one resign, want to win one right.
No, listen to
them.
In the meeting Sunday. In the meeting Sunday.
Support the Millennium
No, go so.
But that is what you write.
No, that is not true. That is not true. In the meeting,
make sure that
Kremlin. In the meeting, the question is asked: those who in favor of the chairperson to stay, put up on a hand, and everybody put up them hand. Argument done.
You know, some Mixie can tell us, Mixie talk to me on our phone.
No, we can't go back to this again. We can't go back. The vote says that the CEO must remain. The vote says. The vote says.
Come.
And she don't come.
And she let me know straight up.
So she have something else to do.
Not coming to no meeting.
Because, alright. So when me I say no, alright, put aside that. There was a vote Sunday. And the vote says, by a majority, overwhelming majority, to keep the same person as the CEO. That is what it says. So what you not going to go against now? The community agrees that you must stay there. So what are we going to do now?
The council run off our agenda, you know, what the agenda says.
The agenda says that you must vote if you don't agree.
The agenda say where it says, and I saw it go, because what you know, you can't have a chair appointed in a illegal meeting.
Oh, is that?
The meeting illegal. So the chair can't be appointed in an illegal meeting.
Alright.
Because what you know, the Naya being the also entitled to 2 votes.
Alright, sir. I'm not moving.
Just 2 votes. Right, let's say. Not 100 votes.
Alright, give time.
Alright, Milan, give time.
Rasta, yeah. Wow. I forgot to test my blood pressure, you know. And drink some key. When my drinking there with the key juice, I need some key juice for the place, sir. Taste all the sugar and all these things. You know, sir, I usually scare me hard for Sunday. I usually scare me hard for Sundays, and the only place I go play out on our West Street, you know. Believe you me, you know. I hear all people that talk about Wolipa shooting around at Denham Town. And Sunday we down there, and we see Caveman come down there with some people, and then we see some other people come down and say, but wait. Oh, black people afraid to come down our West Street when we are playing. And we see so much white people start come down there. That me I say, wow, what is this? We don't have a gunshot where we are here supposed to happen. We had a wonderful party. And that is really what is my intention. That anytime I hear about the next meet again, I go and play one party. Think a joke. I don't think a rata. We can look at all. At at 12:44, and the things get mashed up here now. We have to go play this tape. We still have to play the tape to the all we are going. The only for advertisement, they get a lick out. Oh, God, man. The advertisement, they get a lick. It's sad. Punch advertisement. Let us see, punch advertisement. Takura, when the cane juice the Rasta, bring the cane juice, come give me that. I tell you. Wow. Yes. Good night.
Yeah, Muta.
Good, I have it.
Yeah, man.
We're going to continue this together. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but me not going to talk long like this, brother.
No, you know? Me not going to give no chance to talk so long.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you right now, for the sake of those who are listening to the program, Muta. I could put this thing from a look at it from a historical point of view, right? The council was set up in 2007 to represent all the different houses and mansions within Rastafari.
Yeah.
Now, certain individuals like the daughter Maxine.
So hold on. It represents different mansions of Rastafari, not Rasta in general.
No, the council was made up of organization.
Yeah, but you have most Rasta don't belong to an organization, so that means the council don't represent them. It doesn't represent.
Well, I know not the most Rasta, but we have a lot of Rasta people who don't belong to any organization.
Yeah, so I am saying that it don't represent I.
All right, well, suppose the I.
No, suppose. You just ask you, because you say it represents the different mansions of Rastafari.
Exactly.
So I said to you that there's a whole heap of rats that don't belong to no mansion of Rastafari.
All right. See?
Yeah,
so Carl say they are not represented.
Yeah, continue.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, because it's the history of the council itself we are talking about now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, each mansion and houses have two representatives on the council. You have individuals, like what the Virgin was explaining, Marcus, from a legal point of view, right? What the council may do and may not do. The council have the right to employ or to ask for the assistance of 3 individuals as consultants who may not belong to any organization, house, or mansion. Now, you have individuals, as it was clearly seen Sunday, that you have individuals who don't belong to any organization, who hold position where is more than 3 of them will have position.
So who allowed that to happen?
Because the council, how it was set up in 2007, right? And the point I have said that you have more than 3 individuals.
But it was not a member of any organization.
Of any organ.
So I ask you, how the council allowed that to happen?
The members of the council,
yes,
right, over a period of time,
yes,
allow that to happen.
Yes.
And the point is, you have, for example, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yes.
You have the Naya being the host. You have the school of vision. You have house of judgment.
Etc.
Right, but you have representatives, for example, from the 12 tribes, from the Naya being the, and from school of vision, right, who are there. You have individuals now on the other side who don't belong to any organization.
Yes.
Right, I don't have to call them in.
Don't belong, I don't represent.
Right, who don't belong to any organization.
Yes, like which
yet they are there on the council.
Yeah.
Now, Mitzi, being chairperson,
yes,
right, there was a letter that was sent out as I'm supporting the removal of these youth.
Which youth?
Being a part of
you mean the Occupy youth them?
Right, Occupy Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Right? When I heard about this letter that was going out, and I know that the Naya Bingi house don't
support that idea. Don't support the idea of moving these youth.
The Nyabingi house.
Right. Right? I call Mitzi because it was going out under the basis of desecration of Nyabingi Tabernacle.
Yes.
That letter was signed by Bobo Greg.
Okay.
I called Greg and I asked him before he put out that letter, did he consult with the Nyabingi individuals or outstanding individuals within the Nyabingi house?
Yes.
No, I must ask Irie. I say Irie is one individual from the Nyabingi house. You didn't consult I, being co-chair of the administrative council. Mitzi is one of I representative from the Nyabingi house and is chairperson for the Millennium Council. God wasn't contacted, and other individuals within the Nyabingi house was not contacted, yet they went ahead and put out this letter. So I am Mitzi Reason, and I'm Mitzi Reason with other individuals. I say, Mitzi, you have to put out something in order to distance yourself from that letter, in order that individuals out there don't feel that you are in support of a letter like that.
All right, in your estimation, what was the letter implying?
The letter was supporting the idea of moving these youth who were occupying Pinnacle, right, by force. It never mentioned police and it never mentioned soldier. But if you ask for the physical removal...
You have the letter in front of your IRV?
No, but I have read it.
I can't go up on the internet to go find it, believe it.
No, but I have read it.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, Mitzi put out that letter after consulting not just with I, nor other individuals within the Bingi house, but with also a legal team representing Rastafari. Because, and I pointed out that I within the Bingi house have instructed her not to go back to any Millennium Council meeting until a general Millennium Council meeting is held, and that was what took place on Sunday. A general, meaning that the representatives and the wider Rastafari community would have been there to hear everything that was going on. Now, the thing is, Maxine Store is a consultant. She does not have any authority. In other words, a consultant is somebody who can make recommendations to those who represent the mansion. In other words, for example, a company, a person is employed by the company, that person can make recommendation to the company. The company don't necessarily have to accept the recommendation coming from the consultant. Now, she is not in a position to fire nor hire, because she of herself was hired, even though the council wasn't paying her. But it was the council that brought her on as a consultant. Now, the next thing, the reaction of others, was that Mitzi was being dismissed as chairperson. Now, these individuals don't have the authority and they don't have the right to dismiss anybody as chairperson. Now, I listen to Kremlin, and Kremlin was saying he is the one who wrote a letter recommending that Jabi Boniwela be honorary chair. Things don't go like that, Muta. If somebody recommends that certain things being done, then the representatives from the Millennium Council, from the different mansions, would have to meet and decide whether this person should be an honorary chair or should not be an honorary chair. These individuals came down to the Pickford Nyabingi Center in November, and I pointed out that to them, that you don't go about doing things in that way as if you have the authority and you have the right to do what you want to do. You don't do things like that. You consult the community. You communicate and you dialogue with the community, and the community meets and takes decisions. So that is why you see the meeting took place on Sunday, in order to clarify from the community point of view whether what was going on was right or was not right.
All right, hold on there. Me just go on the internet a while ago and find the letter. So, it's terrible to do it, but me have really read the letter where it was sent to the signed people them who depend it. Make up get this computer here correctly set up here so to read this letter here. Alright. So, me have read the letter will come in on my email. The subject is the desecration of the Nyabingi Tabernacle at Pinnacle from the Ethio-Africa Millennium 2000 at Gmail to Burchell Whiteman, Rupert Lewis, Lisa Rennie, Anna, Lisa Grant, Mark Golden. Alright. Care of Prophet Greg, Original Wheelers, Rastafari Youth Council, Mitzi Will, Marcus, Irie Fire, Maxine Store, etc., etc. That is the people them would care of, right? So it is to Burchell Whiteman, Lisa Anna, Rupert Lewis, and Mark Golden. All right.
Note carefully what it's saying from Mitzi Williams and Maxine Store, Original Wheelers, Youth Council, and so on.
Yeah,
note that carefully.
Original Wheelers, Rastafari Youth Council, Mitzi Williams, Marcus
Gaff.
Yeah, well, they might show you the email of the people then. Maxine Store, etc., etc. Alright, it says, and so whosoever never did the meet now can hear what the letter says. The process of the Occupied Pinnacle campaign has been a complex one that has challenged the flow of information and facts in the flurry of media activity by the organizers. At many points within the campaign, they have stepped on the toes of all the stakeholders in what was considered their youthful exuberance and recent entry on the learning curve of Rastafari issues and negotiations. It was understood that prior to this campaign emergence, there was a developing schism coming out of the entry of the Leonard Howell Foundation, and in particularly and underground representative Sister Odesh in relation to the Spanish Town Nyabingi House that has been at the front of the struggle for Pinnacle since 1996. A hostile representation from the Leonard Howell Foundation has been marginally determined by her personality and representation, as while the inclusion of the Howell family rights was encouraged and welcomed by the Nyabingi House and the RMC, the complex nature of the negotiations triggered a court case, as while the Nyabingi House and the RMC was related to Rastafari heritage rights in its collective form, the Howell family related to the family rights, while the Howellite community in Tredegar Park are referred to in the evidentiary nature. They are not distinctly represented by the Leonard Howell Foundation. This is borne, but even in the court case, as they were never named nor brought as witness therein. The Rastafari Millennium Council emergence in 2007 brought representational issue through the council as a collective entity that would have to oversee and be responsible for the Rastafari heritage rights in its collective form and representation. That incorporated the Howell family rights based on an internal and external process, with the court case not determining anything in of the Howell family rights. The issue remained concurrent and active with the Rastafari heritage rights. At this writing, we stand to be corrected in relationship to the Oilites. But it is our clear understanding that the community was now centered in Chadiga Park and were not named to be included in the case as to the land and the communal rights to be distributed to them. It may be that in the appeal to this case, the Oilites are to be included as reference has been made to the Ethiopian Salvation Society, being named in the appeal evidence, but nothing in the public court papers to date indicates this. The eviction notice from the court was related to the Nyabing house, who has constructed a tabernacle on the lands and been holding Nyabing celebrations since 1996. In and around June 16th, as Leonard Owell birthday and the Owell family rights, which was principally related to Sister Adesh in the last 2 or so years building a structure on the premises. Within the history of Sister Adesh being on the property physically, the confrontation now physically grew principally with herself and members of the Spanish Town Nyabing house, wherein she single-handedly started to negate the Nyabing order right of heritage to be displayed there. The position was taken specifically stating that only the playing of the Kumina drums and related chanted could be held, and where other rules of the Nyabing order concerning the use of the tabernacle and sacred space was put to challenge. Seeing a physical confrontation brewing, the Nyabing House of Spanish Town withdrew their annual celebration there and were instead to Chadiga Park since 2012. The Nyabing Tabernacle remains a sacred space, ownership and governance of the Nyabing Order. Occupy Pinnacle role and narrative has been majority influenced by Sister Adesh and her partnership with Danisha Prendergast. This has driven Occupy Pinnacle to adopt the negotiating position that has sought to diminish the role of the Rastafari Millennium Council, and now in the physical desecration of the Nyabing Tabernacle of Pinnacle, brought their positioning to now be publicly sanctioned, wherein their immediate removal from the physical site has to be achieved, which is in question here. Wherein the immediate removal from the physical site has to be achieved to remove a very clear and present threat of confrontation from members of the Nyabing Order, not only in Spanish Town but nationally and globally. The desecration has now been heightened with the purposeful repainting of the colors of the Nyabing Tabernacle and the insertion of banner on the head of the tabernacle and other emblems not consistent with the order. Incorrect activities that would not normally take place around a Nyabing altar. The physical dress of females, etc., in consultation with the Bobo Shanti house, who also fly a different order from the Nyabing house. They are very concerned about the action and want to public also sanction this behavior and indicate that it has no association or credence. It is the clear right of the Nyabing House Tabernacle to both exist and be respected at the Pinnacle location. This continuing and increasing violation requires the immediate removal of the occupied Pinnacle. Okay? This continuing and increasing violation requires the immediate removal of the occupied Pinnacle representatives from the identified lots, as its physicality has introduced the clear and present danger of confrontation in defense of the Nyabing Order, as this is a situation that predates Occupy Pinnacle, and based on the complex nature of the negotiations surrounding Rastafari heritage, each stakeholder will have to now present clear and authoritative representatives coming from accountable legal sources to engage in the level of negotiations. Representatives coming from accountable legal sources to engage in the level of negotiations that are presently engaged with the government of Jamaica and the developers. The loose comings and goings on the property of Pinnacle has to come to an immediate closure and related parties sanctioned. Similarly, the negotiations have to become precise as determined by the nature of the negotiation. Parties that have no legal authority to represent at this stage or who do not have a comprehensive and collective view and representation of Rastafari heritage provisions and standards must be only referred to in evidence-based capacity. The clear facts and factors are now on the table, and the occupied Pinnacle position has now been fully compromised by its facilitation of the desecration of the Nyabingu Tabernacle and becoming a platform for other disrespect of the traditional order within the Rastafari community. The position is being simultaneously declared to the government of Jamaica. This position is being simultaneously declared to the government of Jamaica, the Jamaica National Trust, the Leonard Howell Foundation, the Pinnacle developers, on behalf of the Rastafari Millennium Council and its Spanish Town Nyabingu Order, united in respect of our diversity and rights. One perfect love, Prophet Greg, General Secretary.
All right, Muta.
Well, the letter say, this letter was written to, I mean, if I didn't write a letter like this, I wouldn't put, where the man name, the government man,
Mark Golding.
I wouldn't put Lisa Anna in it. I wouldn't put Mark Golding in it. And I wouldn't put, wait, I can't say who the letter go to. All right. There are certain people that definitely should not be in a letter like this.
But Muta,
the letter is written to government people. The letter is written to government people. The conversation that I was having with the brethren a while ago, what him said, there was no argument about forcefully removing. There's no word there that said force.
Force, exactly.
But it is saying that it is the priority now to prevent other things from happening, including desecration of that these occupied Pinnacle people must be removed. And it is said to Burchell Whiteman, Rupert Lewis, Lisa Anna, Mark Golding, all of these people is government people.
Exactly.
Now this is the letter that was written. For those of you who is listening to the letter, is that letter not saying, because I am not interpreting the letter, I am just repeating what it's saying. It is saying that the occupied Pinnacle youth them, which is some youth, they are calling upon the government to immediately remove them.
Exactly.
Because they are desecrating the tabernacle.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's because them have our pants or them locks not tie up or whatsoever, but this is what it is saying. It is saying that the government is calling to the government, because the letter is written to the government, to remove these people from this place because they are desecrating the tabernacle. I don't have no argument with nobody. Yes.
Muta, I don't know how much credit I have leave on this. So let me just
I hope it's not much.
Right? No, Muta, before that letter, rather than sending out a letter like that to the various government entities, what they should have done was to contact I&I within the Nyabingu House, Muta. First and foremost.
Well, it is signed on behalf of the Millennium Council.
And discuss this as a family. You don't have your children out there doing something, even if them doing something wrong, and the first thing you do is call police on them. You sit down as a family and discuss this matter. You understand me? And even if you mean that you must go to your youth and say, look here, youth, you know what I do. All right? You understand me? But you don't just call for the immediate removal of these youth when these youth will merely define the authority where Pinnacle is concerned. So that's why I say these individuals here, Kremlin running up in mouth about mashing up the council. There are these individuals that we call out, right? Who don't communicate, who don't dialogue.
Them say Mitzi don't go on no meeting.
No, Mitzi was going to meeting until
Uno tell us must have a general meeting.
Exactly. Because what is saying sitting down with these people who claim, who don't belong to any organization, but claim that they're acting on behalf of the country.
Hold on there. You say none of the people them who write this letter are not who write this letter. None of the people them who this letter represent is executives of the Millennium Council.
No, I'm not saying that they are not executive. I'm saying that they don't belong to any organization.
But they are executives of the Millennium Council.
Because, yeah, for example.
Because this side of them is a member.
No, Muta. Listen what I say.
Yeah.
For example, when Jabi was instated, right, as honorary chair, who made that decision? What I'm saying to you is, there are individuals who are there or who were there that the mansion and the houses did not decide to be there. But that's a few set of individuals wanted them to be there.
How come them dead?
Muta,
yeah.
Just like how Kremlin said, him write a letter recommending that money, right? Be honorary chair.
Yeah.
I am saying to you, Muta, that this was not brought to the wider community to decide on.
Okay. Neither
but
the executive. It wasn't to the executive, like you, the chair, whatever one it is. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't to the broader community, Muta. It wasn't to the representatives of the various mansions.
Okay, you mean like Feargan? It wasn't brought to Feargan.
No,
Feargan admits him never. But Feargan said never
had nothing to do with it. The Bingy House had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
It's just that these individuals who don't belong to any organization, who came about through the same process.
Then Bobo Greg, remember the Black International Congress.
No, the Black International Congress is not a part. They are only observer.
Oh, they're not a part of the organization.
No, and that is why even when Greg said he was from EAIBC, remember we asked each individual to state what house they represent.
Yeah, I never said represent no house.
No, even the Kadasa named Sudan who came up, she represents
Rastafari. Yeah, well,
that is stupidity.
Yeah.
You understand? Yet these individuals are on one side, fighting against Mitzi, want to get rid of Mitzi as the chair because she don't allow herself to be bought her soul.
What do you mean buy her soul? Who are buy people there?
Motor, a politics.
Yeah, them don't know it's a politics. I can't come here jail and PNP what me say.
Right, a politics. See? But right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Defend is right. And if certain things is to happen, make it go through the right process.
All right.
You understand? If you want to move Mitzi, take it through the right process.
Yeah.
You understand me? And that was what the general meeting was all about.
To
bring
right
clarity.
Yeah.
And to restructure the council.
Well, obviously, no clarity not there because them walk out of the meeting and that was the end.
No, Musa, you can't say no clarity not there because the situation spoke for itself.
Well, all the everybody vote and say them still want to maintain our position.
Yes.
That is a
so these individuals, because them couldn't have no way, they walk out. Yeah. So the fact that them walk out of their position. Okay. Because if there were individuals who say, boy, at least the community speak and
maybe them walk out because of the aggression against them.
Because the fire did have to burn Muta.
No, but you see, no, that me I say, the fire did have to burn here, but right now, not a burn fire against Rasta. We I say, when me see...
Then bring it on himself,
No, you can't bring fire upon yourself, brethren. If you're in a meeting and there's two sides, you accuse somebody or something, the person must be able to get up and defend themselves. What I saw there was no defense of self by the so-called other side. It's pure accusations and ball out loud and shout. Even Denisha, little fine Denisha, get up for attack she not answer it. How out to Denise?
No, but
somebody broke car. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be realistic.
Realistically, no fire to be burned and gets no Rasta in there. Or don't need to come to applicable.
What goes around, look here, Muta.
Yeah.
That could be realistic and honest. What goes around, comes around.
So what goes around?
Wait, no, Muta.
Yeah.
Now, here is a set of individuals who don't belong to no organization.
Yes.
Right? Want to get rid of Mitzi being the chairperson of the Millennium Council, who is a representative of the Nyabindi house.
So what is the evidence that is what they want to do? Where is the evidence? Is there any email that says
you never hear when Mitzi read the letter that came back from these individuals after she wrote the letter distancing herself from the letter that you just read?
Where the letter come back and say?
The letter come back and saying that she, by her absence, by she not going to these meetings, she has automatically dismissed herself from the council.
Is that in the bylaws of the Constitution of the Millennium Council?
No, they don't have the right.
No, I just asked you because him said no law no dead if it said that. So I asked you now.
No.
Is there a law in the council that say if they had miss 10 meeting, 4 meeting, 5 meeting?
I am saying no, Muta.
There's no law like that.
No, because she wrote respectfully saying she would not be coming back to any meeting until a general meeting is being held to clarify
the whole thing. And the advice of UNO, and UNO advised that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Especially from the Nyabingi house and along with the legal counsel.
And it was 12 tribe part of that?
No, Mitzi. No, Muta. We're talking from a Nyabingi point of view.
Yeah, but but she represents the 12 tribe too.
Yes, but listen.
So it's over the Nyabingi house.
Muta, she's there as a Nyabingi representative, you know. She's not there as 12 tribe representative. You know.
No, I know, but you see, she represents 12 tribe. But she's chairperson
for the council, which has 12 tribe as a part of it.
Yeah, so if who is
advising her?
The Nyabingi house.
The Nyabingi house and the legal council.
Which is GAF.
Not just GAF, you have Kwasi.
Okay.
Right?
The lawyer part, okay.
Yeah, you have a legal team.
Okay.
Right? So in other words, to bring us clarity, to get the community involved, rather than having this tug of war going on between Mitzi and 12 tribe and Nyabingi representatives on one side, right? And these individuals who don't belong to any organization on the other side. Because here's Kremlin attack, you know, Muta. If find somebody in a Kremlin organization, they call the judge in Nyabingi, and knock somebody in there, because for one meeting, I never see Kremlin with more than 2, somebody in my one next someone. Right? Yeah. So we are talking about dealing with the facts, dealing with the truth, dealing with things, how it's supposed to go, and not how a set of individuals want it to go.
May I ask you a question? Is the Rastafari community fighting for Pinnacle for the family of oil? Or is it fighting for Pinnacle for the community?
Rastafari?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Both.
Because what it seems to me is that there's a third party in this thing, which is the Oil Foundation, which is the speaker of Sister Odesh. It seems as if Sister Odesh is not with the argument about being a Rastafari community, but must be put back in the hands of the family of the oil, of Leonard Oil. That is what I am gathering from what I am
gathering. The letter.
Not only from the letter, but based upon this. I'm thinking that what I am recognizing is that Sister Odesh is fighting for the family. And because the youth them don't have the sensibility of the whole thing, they are fighting for the Rastafari community but under the auspices of Sister Odesh.
Yeah, well, here what happened now. Odesh is a Guyanese, he's from Guyana, living here, right?
Yeah.
Being a part of the, because the original thing under where Howell did come, when Howell established his foundation, was the Ethiopian Salvation Society. Right? Now, there is certain amount of arrogance, to be honest, being displayed by Odesh towards the Rastafari community. Right? But at the same time, as a family, Miguel has done a lot of mediation, right? Where the unification, Monty being the son of Howell, so a lot of unification was taking place, a lot of through the mediation of Miguel especially.
Yeah.
Right? So, given time, Muta, what I and I should have done and would eventually have done was to sit together as a family, both with Odesh, the youth, the Rastafari community, and come to an amicable, right, position, come to arrive at an amicable decision, not to be calling the government people, right, to the physical removal of the youth and from Pinnacle.
I am totally...
You know what I mean? And these are the things that we just want to clear.
You clear it up, and I am reading the letter. I am saying that Occupy Pinnacle, that's what I am saying, but this is the part of it that strike I. Occupy Pinnacle role and narrative has been majorly influenced by Sister Odesh and her partnership with Danisha Prendergast. This has driven Occupy Pinnacle to adopt the negotiating position that has sought to diminish the role of the Rastafari Millennium Council, and now in the physical desecration of the Nyabingi Tabernacle at Pinnacle, brought their positioning to now be publicly sanctioned, wherein their immediate removal from the physical side has to be achieved to remove a very clear and present threat of confrontation from the members of the Nyabingi Order, not only in Spanish Town, but nationally and globally.
And that is a big lie to you,
I don't see how these youth going to create a problem nationally and internationally when we recognize that we agree with the youth them to occupy the place. As a matter of fact, that occupied place did not start with the youth them. It never started with the youth them. It
started with the Nyabingi house.
I mean, it started with the Nyabingi house.
No, the first of someone. Even say in the letter stated 1996.
But the occupied Pinnacle?
No, the Pinnacle, the first type of activities that started in 1996.
Occupy Pinnacle, the idea of occupying Pinnacle, so as to prevent more development from going on. That argument, that the reason why you them occupy Pinnacle, is to take a stand against the developers.
Yeah, to defy
the developers.
Yeah.
I am saying that.
And to defy the government, that certain aspect, a certain entity within the government was siding with the developers.
Yes.
Because as you know, within the Ministry of Culture, who commanded the way and who occupied this and that, and they don't know that. You understand? But you see, truth and right, and family don't take them things out there in the street in the mountain.
Yeah, well, as I said now, brethren, the gremlin, even though this letter never mentioned police, but if you talk about the youth, them as clear and present danger and the immediate removal from the physical.
What are you saying?
Are you talking to the government? You don't have to bring police in. You don't have to call police name in it.
No.
If you write a letter to the government saying that these youth is a clear and present danger to the tabernacle up there, and they must be removed
immediately.
You don't have to say police. You don't have to say force.
Because whatever they could remove them.
Yeah. So it's that way I say. So yeah, the letter stand.
That's why I'm saying the honesty and the fact of the matter, this youth Kremlin never do want to admit, say, this is what they must say. Now, they not beat out and go on and come on, Can you sit down there and listen, You understand me? But the truth is to be done. But Muta never going about here what happen now. We just remind ones and ones of the upcoming events taking place for the Coral Garden Memorial on the 18th and the 19th of this month at the Pitford Nyabingi Center. And I just want to remind ones and ones in Western Jamaica that on Sunday, the 13th, the second monthly meeting of the Westmoreland and Panganga Farmers Association will be held at NX3 Land in Israel. And this is something where I and I as Rastafari and grassroots people have to come together and defend Muta. So, give thanks.
Again, the station and the program can be defined by normal way of broadcasting. From 2 to 5:45 on the stepping razor, the art of war. Diffgram. Can I repeat? Different program. As my brethren say, Chad say, me nah joke. R.I.P, me nah joke. Trust me, a different program, little more. You heard me correctly. Before the program done, I will take the call, but I look at tell you say, tonight is one program, tomorrow, little more is a different program. I'm going to repeat that again. Tonight is one program, tomorrow is a different program. So the next tune, I'm forced to play it. Yes, Cotton Edge.
You know, by just listening to the reason, brethren, we feel that I don't think they go on higher. You know, when we look on the Millennium Council now, it looks like it's a whole infiltration from the government, brethren. Like that, them control like the organ and the whole thing. And them just put someone in position just to block things and a whole for contention and nothing and go on. Brethren, just go on their work.
Yeah, well, your phone cut out, but that me go and do, believe you me. That me go and do. Go and do my work. You see my work? Alright, I tell a man about my work. So a man could have criticized a little more. I'm going to like hear more about Selassie, I'm going to talk more about Rasta things, and the guy can't dictate to me if you do on this program, Because the owner them never dictate to me if you do on the program. So me do when me want to do on the program. You understand? I see them whole heap of thinking the talk there. It now benefit me now, the black people them we are trying to liberate. So it go. Now we are coming. Burning spear. This is the Cotton Edge on R.I.P. You know, say Matrix there with me. Yes. Matrix are come in now and take it to 6 o'clock. I will come forward 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? There. So we give thanks to the moment and the time and the energy. Give thanks to there with me. In all of the craziness. Because that we call it. We don't mean what I say, Trust me. Yes, when me also when me there I think when me kill and me cabbage and me celery and pass it believe you me. It's a lucky thing. We didn't have somewhere else to go to soothe down my vibes. We never have nothing to do with my Rastafari affiliation. Believe you me. It was so sweet. Right in the heart of Kingston there. Yes, it was nice. Believe you me, it was nice. We'll continue with this.